5 of 10. 5 of 10. 8 of 5 of 10. 5 of 10.
Fucking shitty land like this. Weird.
Five of 10. 4 of 10. 4 of 10. 4 of 10. 1 of 10. 3 of 10. 1 of 10. 1 of 10. 1 of 10. 2 of 10. 1 of 10. 1 of 10. 1 of 10. 2 of 1 of 10. 1 of 2 of 10. 1 of 10. 5 of 10. 5 of 10.
A Minecraft prediction.
1 of 10. 9 of 4 of 10. 5 of 10. 4 of 10. 3 of 4 of 10. 1 of 9 of 10. 6 of 5 of 10. 1 of 10. 9 of 10. 7 of 10. 7 of 10. 8 of 10. 8 of 10. 8. 1 of 2 of 1 of 10. 1 of 10. 9 of 10. 2 of 10. 2 of 10. 2 of 10. 1 of 10. 3 5 1 of 10. 8 of 10. 5 of 10. 6 of 10. 1 of 7 of 10. 9 of 8 7 of 10. 2 of 10. 1 of 10. 9 of 10. 9 of 10. 9 of 10. 9 of 10. 2 1 of 10. 2 of 10. 1 of 2 of 10. 1 of 10. 1 of 10. 2 1 of 10. 8 of 10. 7 of 6 of 5 of 4 of 10. 3 of 2 of 1 of 2 of 10. 1 of 10. 2 of 1 of 2 of 10. 1 of 10. 2 of 2 of 10, 1 of 10, 2 of 10, 1 of 2 of 10, 1 of 10, 1 of 2 of 10, 2 of 10, 1 of 10, 1 of 10, 2 of 10, 2 of 10, 2 of 10, 3 of 10, 3 of 10, 2 of 10, 2 of 10, 2 of 10, 1 of 10, 1 of 10, 1 of 10, 2 of 10, 2 of 10, 1 of 10, 2 of 10, 2 of 10, 1 of 10, 1 of 10, 2 of 10, 3 of 10, 2 of 10, 2 of 10, 1 of 10, 1 of 10,
Since I was chatting, I think I'll turn on some backtracks. Oh. 1.5, boo.
One of 10,
Fucking whack. Mostly because I haven't practiced that shit. No. Not playing Teen Spirit. Not because I don't like Teen Spirit. I love the song. I just don't like playing it. It's not fun to play. It's fun to sing. Not that much fun to play. Good, yeah. Let's get that point out of the way. So that was my point today. I was thinking, because I'm always thinking. I'm walking, because I'm always walking to and fro, now, under, above. And I don't even remember what I was listening to, but it was some digester telling you what they thought of the news. And they kept saying that shit, keep it positive, great, be positive, but be naturally, like, really positive, not the fake positive. Because that shit's retarded, dude. I'm just staying at my higher self. There is no higher self and there is no lower self. There is self. It's all balance. And that was the whole point. Peter Pan lost his shadow and the motherfucker was out of balance. He couldn't exist without it. He had to have that. So the woman sewed it back onto him. I don't even know if the Disney cartoon covered that, but it was in the original story. I don't even know why I thought about it. Whatever that guy said was just that stupid to where I was like, God damn, this guy. It makes me think of the clumps too, where Sherman thought, I'm just going to be all Sherman and I'll get rid of all the negative, evil, low vibe, buddy love. And then what happened? It fucking ruined him. I don't know. Not to shit on anybody's beliefs. Yeah.
1 out of 10.
I'm sorry. Hello, Paul of Soccer. Who for art thou? Is it Brother Paul? Or some rando? Diners. Bueno. Say hello. Okay, cool. You want to jump on? More. There you go. Come up if you want. It's my dark house. Sorry, Bob.
I'm in the shower.
You're in the shower.
I'm in the shower.
So you better not be in the shower on my shit. Get me in trouble. Only I can pull this kind of hijinks. God damn, beard.
Yeah. That's the mustache. It's not the beard.
That's insane. Lord. When's the last time you trimmed it?
A year ago. 2 years ago.
Damn.
So everyone grows beards, so I was like, I'm gonna grow my mustache then. Fuck it.
You got to handlebar it with the wax. Did you see that movie, A Million Ways to Die in the West?
No. Some of it I've seen.
You gotta fucking see it, dude. The mustache shit. That song. A mustache. It seemed like it'd be really shitty, like that Ted movie, but no, it came out. I was happy with that movie. I own a copy.
What time is it there?
20 to 12.
It's like 3 in the morning here.
Everybody's on different timelines. All my Georgia people are asleep already, I think. But then if I stay on till like 2 or 3, then I'll start catching the early morning risers on the East Coast. I have like a loose conglomerate. Like
What's
Georgia.
Normal bong or what is that?
My rig. That was my Christmas present to me.
From who?
From me to me.
Oh.
That's what a Christmas present for me means.
That's insane.
No, I was like, I was down there and I had the idea. I was like, what can I get myself? I ain't got shit. I don't need shit. And I was like, my bong's a little short. And it's kind of like when it's short like that, it's in your face.
You have to use a blowtorch with that, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a titanium bowl. So you heat up the titanium bowl and it just vaporizes the head. It's the shit.
I've done that twice. Dabs.
It's the shit.
I haven't never been that high.
People are amazed how much I smoke. Because I literally smoke from the time I wake up till I go to bed.
The last time I did that, the bowl piece, he didn't drip the dabs into the bowl piece. The whole bowl piece was packed with oil. And he just had the stem on there, and he'd heat the stem up and then dip the bowl piece onto the stem.
Oh, that's like that's the nail. Like the reverse
Whatever the
now.
hell it was like, wow, this is.
It might have been the electric rig.
No, it's the same shit you have, but the bowl piece that he had was completely filled.
Was it like
So
a quartz?
as he heated the stem up, he just would dip the bowl piece onto it. Same
Might
exact
happen.
setup, but instead of dripping the dabs into the bowl piece was already completely packed.
Okay, like
He
a
would
base
just- yeah, he would just smack that down onto the stem. And I said,
pipe.
holy shit.
We had one like that for the Deemsters, but that shit hit way
Wow.
crazy.
It was really the hardest hit I've had. And
Oh yeah.
after two is, you want another? I was like, I don't know. I
You're
don't know.
like, "Oh, yeah. I want to pass the fuck out sitting here. That's the goal.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty fucked up. Yeah, the bowl piece was completely packed.
You can't even get cocaine that clean and white. Like, that's
But you're in
pure.
California.
I can make that anywhere. I can make this shit, dude. Like, we made this shit. Like, all you could find before me and Mark got going and plugged everybody in was fucking the green oil, where it's like crude oil that anybody can make rubbing alcohol or even blasting at people were still getting dark shit. And they were charging high prices, and you had to have like a little hash coal, like for the hookah. And then you would drip your dab onto that, and then you had to use like the hookah hose to suck up the smoke.
First time it was kind of dark
Operation.
green, and I remember he kept it in his freezer.
Yeah, like some Rick Simpson oil bullshit. And they all, well, this is good stuff. Like, nah, wait till you get the blonde, fool. The blonde shit is the best.
This was dark green. It was green.
Yeah, it's like the B grade. Like, that's alcohol. It's just the way the solvent you use. Like, that's the same potency, but it looks like trash.
That's the bowl piece.
No, that's a batch of wax, but it's just black because I didn't separate.
Okay.
When you have the leaves in it still, it gets a lot of the chlorophyll in, so the color's dark. But then when you have like your centrifuge, you can spin that shit around and clean out all the chlorophyll, and it comes out nice and clean and titty. This
That's
one's
cool.
a purple punch. This shit almost got me in trouble the other day. Because purple punched the fuck out of me. I went to work. I was just out of it. I was like,
Too strong.
yeah, I was like, am I even supposed to be here today? Like, what's today? Because I'll either get Thursday or Wednesday and Friday off, or I'll just get Wednesday off. And when I only get Wednesday off, like every day just kind of becomes one day. It's the same with everybody else. Like everybody's schedule is the same, and we'll ask each other all the time, like, what's today? Like, oh shit, I don't gotta work tomorrow. Sweet. And then they finally kicked down raises. So that was good. So
Where's the boy at?
he's with mommy. He goes over there Thursday.
What's 6 weeks away?
Oh shit.
6 weeks.
Are you excited?
1 out of 10.
Are you ready?
I'm ready as I can be.
The beginning stages are the easiest.
Well, she texted me last night and was like, I exploded overnight. Like her belly got giant.
It does.
So,
And then you're like,
yeah,
God, I'm sorry.
it just happened overnight, and she's just expanded overnight. She's like, my belly's just expanded overnight. So
You were a baby
the
too,
last
weren't you?
month, a bunch of stuff happens.
Yeah, like weren't you? You were 8 pounds.
Something like that.
So like your babies are pretty much average what you were. Like I was 7 pounds, Sarah was 6 something, and Josh was 7 something, and then Max was like 7 or 8. I forget. He was a heavy dude. He's a little tank. He can, like I thought I was a tough willed kid, but he's like, nah.
You just gotta shove him down every now and then and be like, take
He'll get back up and bop you. He'll be like, nah, he'll be like, get off me.
it.
He's like the Super Saiyan form of me, but he's like little kid Boo or something. Like, he's fierce, but he's so polite about it. He'd kick you in the shit, and you'd be like, you'd be like, I'm sorry, but you know, you deserve that.
Sorry about your shit. You're not working tomorrow?
Hells no. I got tomorrow off.
Oh man. I slept from 6. I fell asleep at 6. Now it's 3 in the morning. And I gotta work in the morning, but
you can't go back to sleep or you'll be dead.
yeah, we're out of town. We're in Alexandria, Virginia, near DC and all that.
It's just super sketchy.
No, there's nothing weird happening. It's a busy area.
See, like the reports I get from Chris are all crazy.
Chris,
yeah, Chris,
the skydiver.
Yeah, like he still does that. If you ever want to go skydiving, hit him up, dude. Like,
I'd seen him on Facebook with that shit, and he's like, if you ever want to go skydiving, let me know.
Yeah, because he runs a company. That's
I didn't know he runs a company now.
They took Anderson Cooper out and shit. Like, they go with Blackwater and they go with the military, like, because there's only so many people that do skydiving all the time.
I saw he had the wingsuit. He started posting wingsuit videos, and so when I cleaned carpets, I knew that my boss was a skydiver, and then one of the people's carpets we cleaned, he used to do. He was some kid. He was from Breeden Realty, but he was Tory Breeden, and he had skydiving, the wingsuit videos. So then I was like, oh shit, you got to do 10,000 jumps to do the wingsuit. So when Chris posted the wingsuit video, I was like, dang, he's really serious.
Fuck yeah.
It's a lot of jumps you have to do.
Yeah. Your first 3 or 4 or more, depending on your level, you have to be strapped to the other guy. And then after
That's
that,
what he told me. And it's like people usually pee themselves. It's like, well, I don't want to be strapped to somebody and piss my pants. And
that's the sad way to go down, because you can't live that down. How'd it go?
no, he's like, it's just that's what happens. It's like 80% or however many people, like, you're probably gonna piss your pants. It's like, well,
see, I was pissed before. Now that I know, they're all pissed beforehand. Someone's
yeah, like I don't want to pee my pants on some guy, and then he's like, I knew that was gonna happen. Like, well,
that's like Brown style shit.
I just
I'm gonna play the pants. It's gonna make you shit yourself.
So I don't want to pee my pants on a stranger.
I don't want to do that anywhere. I could
Anywhere.
I'm not Billy Madison. Peeing your pants ain't cool, Billy Madison.
Hey, man, I peed my pants. Well, that's cool. That's
you
what
ain't
people
cool.
do.
Max loves that shit. He's finally at the age where he can appreciate all the fun stuff. So
Yeah,
he like Gilmore and Billy Madison. And then he loves his horror movies.
Let's see, 5, 6.
6.
Yeah. Justin's daughter's 4 now, I think. Yeah. He's got a good kid.
Tell him we can arrange marriage. He's got the bank. I got the genetics.
Is that a clove? You still smoke cloves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fighting lawsuits keeping them going. They were supposed to be banned in June, and then they
Why?
dried up around town, and I fought the fight and kept it and kept it and kept it, and no one could stop me. Anywhere they had them in town, I would find the spot and just buy them up until they were gone. And then someone would tip me off to a new spot, and I'd go there and buy all them up. And then the other shops are like, fuck this. It's getting reviewed because it was unconstitutional.
Why are they banned?
Because it's tobacco with flavor of any kind.
In California?
Yeah.
Oh, because
So
maybe kids will smoke them more.
yeah, that makes the kid want to smoke it. But then I started a giant campaign, like on every platform with everybody. I'm like, well, if flavored tobacco promotes smoking, then flavored alcohol surely promotes alcoholism, which is a culture of date rape, and all the other shit that alcohol breeds. And then it was kind of like that. And then like 8 of the major tobacco companies sued the fuck out of California. And once people saw that they lost $80 million in the first 2 months of the ban in tax revenues, that kind of changed their tune too.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like people are fucking retarded, dude. It makes sense though if you think about it. California's perpetually been in the bottom 10% of education for whatever. And then these
Yeah.
local people that are like, hey, I graduated top of my class. It's like, yeah, but dude, your class is like 45th in the nation.
It's ego.
Your intelligence level and your education of top of your class to this is like nothing compared to this.
It's
My
all
state,
ego.
we were educated. Fucking VA's been like 12th and 13th, like the top 10 to 14th place perpetually forever. Like there's a lot, all the states that are in the tops are always in the tops, and it just stays that way. But like,
Yeah, it's all ego when you're with politicians. And they
I
have
don't even,
handlers.
I think they just kick them down a check and they go for whatever they can get them to fall for.
Yeah, I think that comes. It's a check and then it's a script, and then they're like, I'll go on TV and read this.
And if they can't, then they blackmail you.
And they read it, and you're like, wow, that guy's, it's like he's a good reader. That's always what I comment. He's such a great reader.
I always comment, this is some bullshit. Go fuck yourself and take your lies with you. I'm amazed I haven't been banned from anywhere for commenting, but
I don't think I've been banned, but I don't think my comments go anywhere.
that's
I
the
think they're
shadow.
good. Yeah, I think they just drift
Facebook,
off.
Facebook definitely does that. Like I know Facebook's done that for years.
Well,
'Cause there's
Facebook, I don't really comment on because there's too many people I know that are on there and people I work with. So I'm like, I don't want to do Facebook too
you have
much.
to
But
censor yourself. See, that's bullshit. You shouldn't have to censor yourself.
yeah,
I don't.
Twitter is more hidden, I guess, a little bit. But
1 of 10.
Twitter,
yes,
like
something
I
about
don't.
Facebook, I'm like, I
Twitter
don't want everyone. I don't want to argue with people.
for
There's no
whatever
point in
reason,
arguing with people.
on Twitter. Like I have a lot of funny jokes on Twitter, but then I just stopped because it was like it got gay. It just turned into a bunch of porn and a bunch of emo shit and a bunch of snowflake stuff. And then I was like, well, fuck Twitter, and I just went back into full on network television. Brought back Double Machine. I just sit here and paint and do my little videos, chit chat with people. Sometimes I get people that are good and know about science and shit, so I can have some good chats with them. Chit chat with people. I got the Zionists' attention. Fucking
The who?
comment something because they were. It's one of those where they're trying to prove Bible history and the Torah history, like through actual science and showing it in the archaeology. And I was like, well, you got all these systems in place that you're talking about, but like you say the Bible mentions this and that, like what about operant conditioning? What does God have to say about that? You know, if it's covered in there, you say everything you could possibly conceive of is covered in your books. Where's the operant conditioning? Because people don't want to listen to it. You like start researching it, dude. I wrote the song fucking 10 years ago after 12 years of research because I was right, and it's only been proven right. Triggers, conditioned emotional responses, all of it's all just one big system of pull my strings and I'll go far, or I snip them and I crash to the ground.
What if it's simpler than that? What if
That's
there's
the
just
simplicity of it.
God and there's just you? And that's it.
Yeah.
There's no system. Maybe there's a
It's all
system,
conditioned.
but maybe that's created by people. But
It's
maybe it's
power
way
of
more
suggestion.
simple than that.
The power of suggestion repeats itself. And the overlapping power of the spoken word is what cements it into people's heads. And once they take that energy, they have to make the thought power into action power. And that's when it becomes tangible reality as we know it. That's why we had to be put into this kind of a form first to learn to appreciate and control it, so we can see that every word has that kind of possibility for beauty.
Every word does have that possibility, but that's scriptural.
Well, even if the scriptures didn't exist, you'd still understand it, because I can be like, hey, I love you. And I'm really telling you, fuck yourself, by the tone of my voice, like, because see, that's where I took it to. I couldn't believe the books anymore. I couldn't believe the people anymore. I can't believe pseudos. I can't believe Christians. I can't believe the church people. None of them, because they're all sold out to the system. You go to church and they're preaching government. They're a 503c. They keep their tax exemption because they preach the Bible. The government prints them. So that means they're the fucking money changer. Temple, Pharisee, Sadducee, same piece of shit beast system as always. So I had to take it beyond that. Like, what would happen if everything was destroyed? Like, if you were back in Noah's position, but without Noah's knowledge, then what would occur? How would God restart you? And so that's kind of how it happened.
Chaos, because of so many people that don't believe in God, don't acknowledge God.
But it's only chaos for a little while. You saw it in action. They wiped my fucking memory when they broke my head and beat my brains in, and it was madness for a while. But then fucking everything reformed properly and settled into place to where I'm stable and legitimate for a long, long time without any issues. I haven't had like I don't blow up or any of that shit. Like, the worst I'll ever do is yell a little bit. I'll be like, ah, 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 and then I laugh about it, and everybody laughs about it.
Anger, right?
Well, like situational anger, like if it's usually work shit, like a box will fall on me or something. I'll be like, motherfucker, because it's a box. It just fell on my head.
I got fired last year. I failed a beach test. So I lost my job. And I was off for like 2.5 months. The guy's out in California. His name's Julie Peterson. And he's explaining how anger is a feminine trait. Have you ever heard of this guy?
There's a pseudo, yeah. It's that black dude.
He's a black guy.
Yeah. Now, some of the shit he says is pretty cool, but some of it's like, man, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, some of it I'm like, I don't know either. As far as anger, I said, well, that makes sense to me because my dad's not angry. Mom's definitely angry.
You've seen Steve when he pops
off.
So
I said, well, maybe. I just was like, maybe I do have the spirit of my mom because my mom's so completely angry.
No. It's the bastardized existence. It's the patchwork quilt, because your personality wasn't balanced because he wasn't present steadily like he's supposed to be. He was out in the Navy.
Well, even factoring that in.
Me. Because when you're apart from it, only the parts of your personality develops by interacting with your parent. The more I interact with Max, the more he's like me. The more he interacts with his mom, the more he's like her. So he grows up with his balanced self.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's why
I had less Steve than you did.
So
like Kathy's son, and you're his kid more because he had more time with you as a kid in the formative years. Like, he wasn't around when I was a baby, except for when he was.
Well, that's why I'm less angry than you.
Yeah, because you didn't have to deal with, like, you had me taking most of the heat a lot of times, especially when you're teenagers. Nothing to you when you were a teenager, dude. They didn't even yell at you. They'd be all on my ass, and you'd just be sitting there like, I'm a close home.
But talking to Mom about it, I was like, once you absolve her from whatever happened, you forgive her, and I don't hold grudges, and I forgive Father, and I don't hold grudges.
She brings it right back.
Then that anger kind of subsides.
I just
So
use
there's
it
no more
and do
anger.
other stuff. But there's always the possibility. See, that's where it goes to. Like, it's like you're a vessel, and you don't get to choose all the time what people pour into you, but you choose how you pour it out, and that's scriptural in everybody's scriptures, but it's biblical too. It's not what you take in that defiles you; it's what comes out of you. So it doesn't matter what kind of vile shit I might see or think or hear. You listening to this music, like, and so what? I'm not putting it out there. I'm not listening to Cannibal Corpse and then eviscerating people. It's not what goes in, it's what comes out. I'm not drawing pictures of severed bodies and raped women. And yeah, like, you know, if something that you're watching and listening to makes you start thinking about raping people or crazy shit, murder and stuff, like,
Cannibal Corpse doesn't make me think about raping people, but I'm like, I don't.
well, then you haven't been listening long enough.
It's too crazy. I'm like,
Nah,
I like the blast beat. I like the drums.
rape's just an easy example.
But the fucking the songs, I'm like, what the hell are you singing about?
Well, you gotta listen to the lyrics. You should understand them as they're spoken. Like,
But
I
then,
guess
like,
it's
the
just
guy
me.
singing the song, it's like the. I've played songs. The guy, that's like the 30th time he's played that song. I'm like, easy.
1 out of 10.
Every time you're serious about it. No.
Have you seen the guy? Like, he's a giant.
Look
him up, George.
Wow.
He's like Chastain sized. He's just fucking raw. Like, I don't think he could sing any other way. If he got up there, it was like,
yeah, fair enough.
You'd be like, what the fuck? Is that like Meatloaf on steroids? He looks like Bane. Like, he's got.
I don't know what else you'd sing about, but I mean,
exactly. The guy was arrested for illegally owning human skulls. Like,
yeah,
not
that's
everybody's
bizarre.
Well, he bought them on eBay. You can buy all sorts. I own human brain. Like, you can get things.
Yeah, like I bought a fireplace for her.
I got you that cool octopus
Like,
in a jar.
yeah, but like human fucking skulls. Like, who the? You're buying that?
I haven't bought one. Fake
Work
skulls are okay.
pants, socks, maybe some boots.
If I could get boobs in a couple of jars, that would be hot.
I'm getting. I'm gonna buy a skull.
But check this out. His tits on a shelf.
I need a human skull. The octopus I have hanging up in my living room.
We had the leg bone.
That got confiscated at one point in time.
I got the calf bones.
I know.
We made that dart.
They're going to legalize in Virginia in the next 3 months.
So they say.
That's what they say.
I think it'll be something happening. They legalize.
The difference is when you're a truck driver, nothing, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, like certain jobs, you still can't do it. Like Pepsi,
Yeah, I'm
the guy
a
was
fucking
Pepsi
Class A
but I'm not-
federal driver.
Yeah, Pepsi piss test. I'm like, yeah, Pepsi sounds good and they pay a little more, but I like going to work fucking high. I like
Man.
people to look at me. I like when I walk in and people that know me look at me and they're like, damn, you're fucking lit up, huh? That's when I know I'm going to have a good day.
Wow.
So I'm just beyond, like, I'm beyond belief at that point. Like, wow, I didn't even think I was that high. I must be blazed. But I don't ever smell because it's wax. Dabs don't make you reek. And then I got my
Yeah,
vapor
that don't
pen.
smell like anything.
Like the bosses are cool.
Oh, that little pen, that's what's got me the
These
most trouble.
you got to get the right ones though, because all the stories where people were getting hurt is because these motherfucking cheapskates were cutting the shit with super glue solvent.
Super glue solvent?
Yeah, you have to use like a vegetable oil to kind of dilute the concentrate. So most people use grapeseed oil because it's flavorless and it's got a good viscosity and there's no smoke to the burn.
Fuck, it's super glue?
Yeah, these people were crazy, dude. They're in jail for it, and that was the end of it. But it should happen. The best is still inhalers. I want to get inhalers again.
I've hit those pens. The pens are okay.
The ones I get are bomb because I go right to the source. Like I just go right to Mark.
Right when I got caught, I had two of the little pen thingies and big bag of weed. And then they're like, "Oh, you're gonna get tested." I was like, "God, shit, I'm fucked."
Kathy told you about when the warehouse got raided, didn't she?
What warehouse?
In Saticoy, mine. Me and Mark's
No.
place. Yeah, fucking the cops had a warrant looking for this crackhead dude. He was like the Mexican Bart. Only his name's Brandon, not Bart. But he's the exact same kind of person, working odd jobs, just smoking out, screwing people over, local dirtbag. And they were looking for him, but the warrant had our address. They went to our address instead of there. So they showed up in full military gear. Fucking Uncle Bill was in the shower. He hops out of the shower, and they're like machine guns pointed at him. He's like, "What the fuck?" And they're like, "No, like we're here to serve a warrant." And then one of them's like, "I smell weed," and he's like, "Yeah, we grow weed, duh. We got licenses." And so they started wanting to check it out, and then I had heard the noise of them kicking the door in because it was a steel door. So I got the dog and acted like I was going to take the dog for a walk. Because, that's what I do. Open the door and walk on down the alley smoking. Dude's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "This private property and I live here. What are you doing?" He's like, "We're serving a warrant." I'm like, "On who?" And he's like, "Brandon so-and-so." I'm like, "Well, he doesn't live here, so you're at the wrong place." And he's like, "What address is this?" I'm like, 1067. And he's like, "Where's 1063?" And I'm like, "That's the gray house over there past the other warehouse behind us." I was like, "You don't know how to read addresses before you start kicking doors in and shit?" And he's like, "Get out of here. Just go over there. We'll talk to you in a minute. Go back to your place and we'll be there in a minute." I was like, "No, get the other guy," because I know the other guy. And fucking went and put the dog away and he radioed the dude I knew, Sanchez. He came over and he's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Exactly. What the fuck's going on, dude? Y'all are all up in my shit." And he's like, "Well, you guys are all good to go." He's like, "We know you grow. We know you're all legalized and all that shit." Because that was when it was still just medical. We had all the licenses. But then, like, 4 of the licenses had expired by like a day or two. And we didn't know. And the people hadn't had time to bring them over. But they did have them. Because we called them and we're like, "Yo, your shit's expired." So they sent us pictures of it. And they're like, "Look, they got it renewed. They just haven't brought us a photocopy." But the cops are like, "Nope. You can only have 70 plants and you've got 100, so we're going to take 25 of them."
We'll take them.
So they just
still got 70 fucking plants.
Yeah, it was retarded. They picked 25 plants that they thought were the best because they don't know shit, and it was all of the best. But they ripped up 25 bud plants and just made a big show of trampling the buckets and fucking breaking shit. They ended up dropping like a half pound of bud for me because I just picked it up off the ground and cleaned it off and dried it out like normal and added it to my grow part, my portion, But it was crazy, dude. Like they were all fucking full on geared, like it looked like Desert Storm gear with the heavy duty outer flak jacket, bulletproof shit. Then like the war helmet with the radio built into it.
I wouldn't mess with half of anybody unless I was geared up.
At that point, if they're gonna kill you, they're gonna kill you. So it doesn't matter what you got. That's why I don't own a gun. Like it ain't gonna if they're gonna come and get me, what the fuck is me and one gun gonna do? Or me and 2 buddies with guns? Nothing.
Not much.
All we gotta do is back up, send in more, send in more. They will keep calling motherfuckers like ants.
Yeah, unless you're the most. Well, I was talking about that with a guy yesterday. I said, let's say you got a shit ton of guns and a shit ton of bullets. But how do you feel when you're like at your last bullet? Like, man, I'm out of ammo.
How do you talk your way out of a long standoff with police?
I got 5 bullets left.
You only need 1. Bam.
Yeah, like we've been doing this for a decade. I'm down to my last bullet. Shit.
There's no way. There's just no way to outlast it. I
You
think
can't win.
they have to drop the neutron bomb. Judgment Day.
So you can't win until you die.
Well, there's no winning. There's nothing to win.
There's nothing to win, anyways.
It's not a contest. It's just a learning. This is just a learning. This is all to train us.
It's a giant learning experience.
We learn to appreciate. We're learning to be like God, to be little miniature versions of God, His little playthings, to amuse Him and praise Him and all the good stuff. Just like the animals and everything else. Like it's all a giant living terrarium.
Yeah, but the animals get it.
The animals are crazy, dude. I was watching this thing. The guy was like trying to show how there's like kinds of animals, the created kinds, and there's like 9 varieties of them or something like that. But with those nine varieties, you can get all of the animals.
The hotel I'm at, there's a little fox that's running around.
Yeah, foxes are dogs.
I'm like, the little fox gets it. He's running around. He's happy.
Who was it? Poland, I think. Poland or somewhere near Poland. But they were breeding foxes with dogs to try to get a hardier dog that could take the weather better. And it kept looking like the fox, but then it had the dog ears would go down and it would behave more like the dog. But it had like a weird little yip bark, like.
I whistled
weird.
at it. The thing was reacting. It's just running around the hotel lot.
Get a capybara. Does look pretty diesel.
He's not out here now.
Pangolins. I want a pangolin.
What's the weather like in California right now?
Santa Ana's, so it's been hot and dry for like
Hot
3 days.
Fucking amazing. It's like 30, 30s.
It's weird. Like there's no humidity here, hardly never. And I'm only 7 miles from the ocean.
Sorry, drop.
Damn.
It's a rock drill.
For what, the underground bases? Oh,
No,
that's like
you
the
can't
oil
drop
rig.
your toes in the ground yet.
Yeah,
Unless
I
it's
know
like-
that thing. That's that shit they had built up next to the Sadikoy house for a month and a half while they were drilling new wells and shit. And it was just night and day. And I wanted to go nuts on them. And one night I did. Like we were tripping balls coming back from the bar. And like there's like 5 of them out there working. And we're just like, fuck this shit. Turn it off for one goddamn night. Just stop, please. And they're like, no hablo. And we're just losing it like, what the fuck? Ah! Because you could scream at the top of your lungs and you really couldn't hear it.
No, this thing just, it's air plus water plus the drill, and it just drills a hole.
But it's noisy here because it was like dry ground probably.
Oh, the thing's super noisy.
I got a video of it probably on Facebook or YouTube somewhere. They were willing to pay my rent for 6 months, and then I lost the guy's contact number. Like I called the company. I was like, "Yo, man, I know you got to do this work," but I was like, "God damn, I live literally 50 feet from where you're drilling. That's my bedroom." And I'm like, "You guys start up, you never stop. You get like 2 hours where you cut out, and I get a good nap." And then he's like, man, that's terrible. He's like, yeah, I know. Like, I can't do nothing about the noise. He's like, but what would make you happy? I'm like, pay my rent until it's done. And he's like, all right, we can do something like that. He's like, and he gave me his contact info, and then when we moved, I lost it. It's like, fuck. Yeah, he was willing to pay my rent for the 6 months it took for them to do that shit.
Some of the big Justin watch this.
Couple of grand back. Who?
Justin gets on YouTube.
So you can see what real killers look like.
It was on a live.
Yeah. Now you're in the annals of history.
Yeah, man. Documented.
People are gonna be like, who was that on your show? And I'll be like, that's the guy that's always playing drums.
The man, the myth.
Best.
Do you see the drum video?
I need like the CRI disc, and I'll get airplay for that.
I have it on my phone. I don't have it anywhere else.
On your phone?
Yeah, it's on my phone. I have it on a little.
So then you attach it to an email and send it as emails, one song per email. That's how I do it.
That's how it has to happen.
Yeah, do that. Because I don't even have a disk drive in my computer still. It's fucking every time Sriracha comes over, we start talking about other shit, and then I forget to tell him, hey,
1 out of 10.
show me how I got to do the recording software. Because I don't remember what he's like. What do you want to name the thing? What do you want to name this? And I gave him names, but I forgot what they were. Because when we set it up, we were on Molly. Dude, when you get good shit, it's the bomb. You just can't do too much. You gotta be nice with it. Do just a little bit.
That's just ecstasy, like pure ecstasy. Molly.
Yeah. It's the shit. It's like when people are telling you, like, yeah, man, shrooms are awesome. And you're like, they're that awesome? And then you take them and you're like, yeah, they are. It's like that. Shrooms are legal here now.
Legal.
They're all pricey. They're like 35 an eighth. Like, no.
$35 for an eighth of shrooms? That's cheap.
No. It should be like $60 an ounce.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm not at that level. I'm not Brandon. I wasn't Brandon level. Like I met people, you know. Like I don't pay like other people pay.
Jamil, he's in New Jersey. He works at a pot factory. And he bags me.
I played me and you and Jamil a couple of shows back on one of my broadcasts.
He called me. I was on the Eastern Shore, Chincoteague.
You should tell him, be like, dude, Dave's playing that jam session we did. He was playing it on a live stream. People liked it.
I was excited to talk to him. I was like, man, I haven't heard from him in years.
I put White Bread out there too, dude. I still got that song.
Awesome.
Dirty Ho. I put that song out there so people have that. It's playing in Arizona and Georgia.
What do you have that on? I think I had that on like a fucked up scratch CD.
I have it in my computer. I think I have it.
I think that's on my MP3 player.
It might be in my phone.
I think it might be on my MP3 player.
I have that.
Fucking MP3 player.
I have everything but the rest of 4 or 5 hits. So don't let Kathy. When next time you go down there, get in the box of 4 tracks and find the 4 or 5 hits 4-track.
I'm pretty sure all that stuff was sent to you.
No, she sent me like the video cassettes and my DAT tape, and then she sent the shit with kitchen magnets in the box, loose kitchen magnets and loose cassettes. So like all the drum tapes that she sent, it's like, here, Paul sent these drum tapes, and it's like Like, goddamn, I'm not in the Matrix trying to jam, am I? Like,
No, you can erase the
it's like
tape.
having a mental disease. Like, ah! Like, imagine that's how crazy people hear shit. Hey, how's it going? Like, no. And I tried. I put in like everyone, and I'd be like, all right, this is going, and I'm jamming along. And it was on a live stream too, so it was even funnier. I'm like, and it's like, no. God. Just kept flipping them.
I got the recorder, but then I stopped doing that, and I started recording everything on my phone when I do drums.
Find some kind of well, just make it in the right file format, and you can just send email shit, and then I can record onto it, like MP3 or MP4.
It's recordable. It's on. If you had
it's got to be compatible format. I got the same thing I had. What the hell, Waves?
Yeah, I could do a wave file.
It's Waves and Audio Light or something like that, and then whatever the hell the mod program is. It's this M Audio.
M audio.
Yeah, it's like the higher up version of what I had back there, where it's the port you plug in your recorder, you can plug right into it and record on the computer.
Oh, Audible. That's what I'm thinking of.
But whatever fucking pathway it's set up for it to channel in to set up the tracks. It used to be you just picked a track, pushed record, and started playing. And there's a way it still does, but I don't know how to set it up, because the way Sriracha set it up and the way I would set it up. Because he's like, well, I'll just record for you, and I'm like, all right, cool. And we recorded a little bit, and then the next day when I went back to it, after turning it off and starting to back up, it wouldn't do for me. I either couldn't get it to come out of the speakers, so I didn't know what was recording, or it would only play like sample clip shit. I'm like, where's my clip? I could see the clip on the bottom. I did every trick I knew how to do with that software, because I used version 7 the last time, and now it's up to like version 9.2. So I'm not familiar with a lot of the newer stuff. But
I started doing drums with background tracks, and the best one I found was Michael Jackson noises. So there's like a 2-hour-long video on YouTube of Michael Jackson noises, like the hee just come on. That's 10 hours. So I'd
there's
record
crazy
drums
shit on
over
YouTube.
in the background of my drums. You hear. So it's like, this is crazy. Like when I played it, Chris was like, "What the fuck is in the background?" It's Michael Jackson.
That's what I was playing earlier. I was trying to play some Nirvana, and I was like, oh, cool, D7 backing track. And I was like, what the hell? Like, it's so wrong. It's worse than the karaoke version of it. All the background is just, and it's so fast and wrong. Like, ugh. But the Slayer ones are pretty good.
I haven't seen that.
They have like the Slayer backing tracks on YouTube, and then it's either Hanneman's part or King's part, though. That's what fucks me up, because a lot of the stuff, I don't know who's playing who, and I don't care. I just memorize the parts I memorize. So then I'll like go to do one solo, and then that's the other part. And I'm like, shit, I'm playing his part now. What's the other person playing? But then it challenges you and makes you grow more and learn more.
My beard, it's impressive.
It is pretty impressive. Phone just like my photo. I think I got, I'd had to see pictures. I think I got my beard to where it touched my sternum, but I had it just straight long ago.
Maybe like Brett. I can't grow a beard.
I'm not Brett. I could grow, dude. I'll grow a beard in 3 days. Like, I hate
I haven't
shaving.
talked to Brett in 3 years.
I almost did, but I held back. I couldn't find his phone number.
I got his phone number, but
I remembered it later in the day, but I was like, eh. That was
he got
after the
really,
fact.
really drunk. He was on his way to my house because he lives in Richmond, in Short Pump.
Figures.
So he came by. And he was drunk. Maybe 11:30 in the afternoon, and he was super drunk. And Cammy didn't even want to bring him to the house. She's like, I didn't want to bring him here.
Told him get a
He
pile of
got
money.
there. He was like really aggressive. He punched the wall in my house. He got really mad. And, I said, I don't know what the hell's going on here.
He ain't got me to whip his ass back into shape. Tell him to come visit. I told him last time. I'm tired of calling in here and you bullshit and you're drinking. Like, it's the same shit. Come visit me. And I'll tune
It
him
was
up.
right before I got married. He said, I was trying to explain to him, like, nobody likes you. My wife doesn't like you. You're not coming to my wedding.
His bad behavior is just bad. He's a dick when he drinks. Everyone's like, you don't drink that much. I'm like, no shit, because I grew up around a shitty drunks. I'm a good
he's like,
drunk.
we gotta. You want to? Let's go outside. We gotta talk. Like, talk about what? What the hell's going on?
Sweeney's house.
Yeah, Sweeney.
I wish he would have got Sweeney's house. Sweeney's house was the best, man.
It was the best, but if you know John Sweeney, you're like, hey, you're a normal guy. You work really hard.
He's just a normal guy, but he has like a.
He's got a sweet house.
That was a fully functional Babe Lair, if ever there was one. I saw it.
New house.
Did you go to his Halloween party? Exactly.
Nah.
That shit. It was like the movies. Like when you see a party at the movies and everybody, there's just like hundreds of people everywhere in different costumes and everybody's having a blast and doing fun shit and it was all great. It was like that. Only I was being pestered for dope and pills and shit. Hey, I heard you got this. I'm like, yeah, let's go over here. Like, fuck, I just want to look at titties. I was out of the house for a little while with Bob, and I wanted to be in costume. And Yvette was being fixed that night, so it was perfect timing.
Bob's still out in California?
Last I heard, he called me like in 2013. He was like, I'm in San Diego. I'm smoking ice. Shabu. I'm like, man, if you ever want to clean up and visit me, come up to Ventura and I'll hook you up.
Yeah, why would you want to smoke ice? What the fuck?
Yeah, like, that's the one thing I'm not going to tolerate. I don't tolerate it. Like,
You want to do hard drugs?
Well, no, I don't want it around me. It's the legality of it, Like, it doesn't faze me. I tried it a long time ago. I smoked a little bit and I snorted some. It was boring. It was like doing cocaine. It's just like, okay, I'm ready to go to sleep. I didn't get it. It tasted like absolute burning plastic and shit. And it's just like, how are y'all into this? And you're paying a bunch of money for it? Like, fuck. I was literally begging people, like, please give me some green bud. Like, I'll go rob somebody.
Yeah, when you just rather smoke a joint than some chemical concoction.
Well, I was watching Josh, how he behaved on it, and he's like fucking watching 4 TV screens. Like he had a corner mounted TV up in the corner of every angle of the garage. So like 2 of them were security cameras for his backyard and his front yard.
What does he do? Because I used to see his shit on Facebook, and I haven't seen anything from him in a long, long time.
He just full on became a tweaker, and fucking that was the end of it. He lost everything. His mom and dad both died, and he burned through the inheritance. And then fucking he was supposed to fix up the house, and he started making loans on that shit. Fucking dude, he fucked up so hardcore because of tweak. And then the last I heard from his sister, he's up in around San Fran pestering his grandma and aunts and shit, and being a deadbeat tweaker up there. This is sad,
crazy.
because I had to cut him off the last time I saw him because like
Yeah,
was when I
Josh Myers.
yeah, like the last time I saw him, he was trying to get cleaned up, and I was helping him out and giving him a little bit of work here and there, and like hooking him up with some bud so he could have some smoke and have some extra cash if he needed to sling it, just like little shit to get him by. But that chick he was with just kept him fucking, nah, let's party. Like, nah, bitch. Like,
It's his mom's fault.
yeah, his mom enabled him a lot. She was like Grandma Helen and Brett, like it was the same thing. And he would do that shit in front of me, dude. Like, he'd be like, hey, can you give us a ride? Because we'd be working on the truck. We'd be working on his truck. So we couldn't drive up, and he'd be like, hey, can you take us to get some lunch or whatever? She'd be like, all right. And then while we're on the way, he's like trying to quiet talk her, but I can still hear him like, yeah, we need to go to the bank and we need this much money. And she's like, what? And like just haggling for fucking $300 to buy some white. And it's like, God damn, dude. Like, what the fuck happened to you? Like, back in the day, we would just went and fucking drove to the valley, and I would have got you a pound for cheap, and you would have came up like fucking $1,500 like that and been a man. And now you're hitting this little pipe and just sitting there staring at fucking TVs. Worried people are coming. Like, who the fuck's coming to get? Like, he had 4 security cameras for a house in the yard the size of our Norfolk house. And then one TV would be like the Playboy channel, and then the other TV was like MTV, the rap all the time, like on one of them channels. And then I would take over the computer. He's like, oh, I need to see the computer. I'm like, nah, if you got all that shit, I'm playing online. But
Tweaking.
yeah, that was like the worst vacation because I got dropped off. Like, they stayed in the valley, and they're like, yeah, go hang out with Josh for a couple of days, get it out of your system, go party up, smoke out or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. And then as soon as I got there, it's like, oh shit, nobody smokes weed, everybody's smoking crystal. I'm fucked. I'll just be sitting there on the internet talking to chicks like, man, these guys are just smoking this rock shit and it's whack as fuck. They talked me into trying it the other day, and like, no.
It looks like glass. It looks like shards of glass. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it looks like it would be cool, but no.
Nah, it's not normal.
It's like smoking the taste of whiteout and ass. Like, it was horrible. I was like, man, y'all like this shit? And they're like, it's the shit. And I'm like, no, it's shit. It's not the shit. It's just shit. Like,
It's the shit. You do it one time and then you're stuck.
I don't see the addictive thing, but I never saw that about cocaine either. Like,
I've told a lot of people cocaine sucks.
we didn't go crazy on it ever.
No, whatever it is about cocaine, there's a look that's stuck in the back of your throat.
A couple times it was fun. That Slayer show, it was fun for the Slayer show. That was fun.
I was like, I can't talk this Lydia. It's way deep in the throat.
We had some dude he got fired like 6 months back, but he was hardcore cocaine. He'd just be walking around work with like fucking boulders in his nose and fucking dust down his face and like on his shirt, and like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm about to go back and do this and that. And like, no, man, wipe yourself down, motherfucker. You're a walking felony right now. Like, you got a bump sitting there.
I've worked with people as a 19-year-old, and we'd take a break and he'd go smoke pot, but he'd come back 10 times higher than anybody. And he couldn't function. Is that a cabinet shop?
See, if you can't function, that's when it's bad. I function better.
Yeah, his whole face would be red, his eyes would be squinting, and you're like, what did you just go do?
Everyone agrees. They know when I'm not stoned at work. They're like, damn, why are you bitching so much? Like, because I'm not high enough. And they're like, okay, that's valid. Then the motherfucker, I wanted to yell at him, but I think it's because the system glitched out and they were messing with the servers. like I've had permissions to scrap shit out and do all these other things like managers do forever, like for the last year and a half since like I've been there 2 years, so a year and a half I've been doing all these other duties to keep up with everybody and help them keep their shit up. So then finally the boss is like, hey, I got to take the certification, so it's legit when you do that. And I'm like, all right. So I sat through all the training bullshit. It was like 2 hours of videos and quizzes and shit, and I did it all 100% tits. Then today I go to do it like normal, and I'm locked out of the system. You don't have permission. I'm like, what the? Like so I had permission to do it all when it was just nothing. Then as soon as I'm certified to do it, now I don't have permission to do my job. Like, what the hell?
That's the new normal.
I hate that expression. Every time someone says that, they finally stopped using it on the news, because I would comment that on every single thing I saw that said that.
The new normal.
I would say all you're doing is channeling Caitlyn Kardashian.
It's the new normal.
Je suis Caitlyn. What happened to that fucking freak show? Their show's canceled. It's done. I saw that in the news.
No, they're getting divorced.
Yeah, but the Keeping Up with the Kardashian show's done.
It's the new normal.
Calabasas is fucked up, dude. You can tell it's fully a Satanist town full of witches and wackadoos. Like,
Really?
yeah. We had to go in there a couple of times to make like big deliveries. Fucking. It was 20 minutes just getting the gate guard to even acknowledge us. And we're sitting there in like a Range Rover. Like, we're not poor folks rolling up into this joint. Like, we're in a brand new Range Rover with fucking 20 grand in product. Like, we're businessmen, you know? And this guy's just like, oh, hey, I'm sorry. I was busy filling out some forms or something, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, we're just trying to go to this address. The guy's like, well, hold on, let me call and verify. And it's like, good God. And he comes back, okay, everything seems to check out. Go ahead and sign this logbook. Let me see some ID and blah, blah. Like, where the fuck are we going? We're just going into a neighborhood, dude. Like, what do you think we're going to do in there? Steal everything in the Range Rover? Like, it was crazy, crazy security. But that was like a super rich joint. But even the regular joints are still like, you don't go there unless you really have business there. It's sketchy. I don't like it.
1 out of 10.
Never liked it.
You're in a different area.
Well, there's like some areas you go to and you know it's kosher, and then there's other areas where you go and you're like, I know I shouldn't be here, and everybody's like looking at me like Road Trip when they said, yeah, we're Phi Kappa Phi.
You're more in the heart of things. In Virginia, nothing's changed. I guess I'm an essential employee. Nothing's changed. I haven't stopped working. Nothing's changed. You just have to wear a mask everywhere. And that's the only difference.
Yeah, people have to willfully take the enslavement. I don't.
So when you walk into a store and everyone has a mask on, you're like, what the fuck is this?
You got to break the conditioning. Like, I'll wear it to get in, and I have to wear it to work. But other than that, I'm sitting there fidgeting with it, and I'm pulling it down. I'm taking it off. I fuck with it the whole time.
You're touching it. You're contaminated.
No, I purposely pull it down because you can't hear me talk. Like, I'm mumbling it. The way my ears are in my mouth, I call it the muzzle because it keeps me from talking. So I have to take it off just to tell people shit like, yeah, it's on aisle 3. So it's like, fuck y'all, man. You don't care about my fucking health enough to let me get my goddamn implants, but you don't want me to get this strain of the flu. Like, come on.
Yeah.
The dentist will not deal with me until COVID's done. Unless I'm.
Well, what's really weird, I think last December, I got really sick it was a weekend. Friday, I had a fever. I slept through Saturday because I took Theraflu. And then by Monday, I felt fine. So then after I hear about the coronavirus, I said, I think I had that shit in December. Nah, it wasn't here by then. But then
But it
8 months down the road, they're like, no, it was here all the way back in October.
The first reports were July 2019 from
I had
China.
it.
That was the first reports.
Right. That's why I was like, I think I had it in December for the weekend, and I beat it up in the weekend.
But even if you did, so what?
Yeah, either way, I was like, I was sick for a
Fucking
week.
age, nobody shut down everything.
I felt fine Monday. I was like, I'm back.
Nobody stopped the world for herpes, and that's way more destructive, I think. I'm more scared of herpes than fucking COVID.
Herpes isn't good either.
Hells no.
One out of 10.
No herpes for me ever, God, please. Thank you very much. Ah. Yeah. Good stuff.
Look at that.
Getting hype. Oh. Is Jamil still rapping stuff?
I don't know.
He should battle rap.
He said, "Oh, he just backs up weed. And that's his job."
Yeah, but for fun and hobbies, like there's battle rap leagues and you can do
I
raps and
back up
shit.
weed all day long. I back up eggs.
We got sampled.
He just
I let a rapper guy
all day
sample us,
long.
like one of me and you songs. He sampled a snippet of it for one of his tracks. How cool is that?
He's into it. I don't think he does anything.
I don't think
backs
he
up
talks
weed.
English sometimes. I said this rapper guy sampled a snippet of one of me and you songs.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
What did he do with it?
he's making it into a track, and then I'll have a
Nice.
copy of it when he's finished. Yeah, dude. Like
I like to hear it.
I'm popular with just all kinds of diverse people. It's awesome. Like whoever catches my eye, I'll start following their shit, and then as long as it's interesting and cool, and people aren't just insane, no Karens. Like that's all our people are. Like you can be crazy and believe whatever you want, just don't bring drama.
I'm against Karen.
They try out here, like, and I shut them down. Like the one time I'm at work and I was cashiering on the main register right by the door, and this chick comes in with her camera. Look at this! Look at that! The prices. I'm like, yo. No, this ain't the store for that. And she's like, huh? I'm like, are you on YouTube or are you on your Facebook Live? And she's like, oh, well, I was making it. I'm like, yeah, I know what you're doing. I'm like, just go down the street, go to Walmart with that.
Well, when I think about Karen, I'm like, don't. She wasn't a complainer.
Yeah, she was.
She wasn't a Karen.
Her and mom were both complainers. That's why I'm a complainer. Because they kept me around all the old ladies, dude. That's what's fucked me up in life. I was raised by a bunch of old ladies.
That's where
I was raised by Grandma Helen and Carol and all these complaining women that had issues with men. So like now I'm a grown up and most of my friends aren't men, they're just women. But none of them want to date because I don't get it half the time because I wasn't raised enough by a man to be like, hey, when a chick likes you, this is what she'll do. I don't know most of that shit.
That's why Jesse Lee Peterson's good. Because he talks about that, the spirit of the woman versus the spirit of the man. And you're supposed to be like your father, not your mother.
Well, see, I am to the degree that I know. I have a steady
So when
job.
I was fired, that's when I started listening to him, and I said, and he's talking about the spirit of the mother and how anger is not good. I said, man, that's why I am the way I am. The spirit of my mother.
But it has to be. It has to
And
be
Mom
part of
was
it.
so angry. Dad's not angry. He's
He gets pissed
completely
off
casual, calm,
until you
doesn't
piss
freak
him
out
off.
about anything.
You have to drive him to that point.
No, Dad, it's like you got to work an 18-hour shift on night shift. Okay. That's what I'm
Okay,
doing.
you can make him mad. It just takes a lot.
If you call him a liar, he'll freak out.
Or steal from him. That pisses him off.
Yeah, other than that, he's like, yeah, I can deal with this. Hey, Dad, this is going on. Okay. Hey, your fucking house is falling down. You got a roof leak. All right. I'll
See,
deal with
and
it.
I exhibit all those traits. Like, I'll get pissed off, but the most I'll do is just yell a little bit, and then I immediately tell people, like, yeah, I'm sorry I was yelling. I'm just being cranky.
Yeah, I've talked to Mom about it. Her demeanor is like war. And Dad's just like, yeah, I can handle that. What's the big
Mom's
deal?
good until she's not. She was good the first few months when she was here, and then it just went way downhill quick. And then it was a living nightmare. But now
I don't
she's
know
back.
why.
Did she send you your hoodie?
A hoodie?
Yeah, you're supposed to be getting the hoodie with one of those 3D. It's like the 3D hoodies with the print on it.
No.
It's like well, I picked out it's a black, red, and white hoodie. And it's like the golf ball print, but it's like a tunnel that goes through the body like a 3D hoodie. It looked pretty tight.
Stuff and it's like I lost the person I got for you.
Or she forgets what she sends, dude. Like she sent a king size pink fucking blanket. And I'm like, did you mean to send me a pink blanket? And she's like, I don't know. Can you take a picture of it? Like, what are you doing? How do you not know what the hell you buy? Like, I've never ever done that where I get home and I'm like, what's in my bag?
She bought a leaf blower. I remember she bought a leaf blower. And it was really cheesy. I was like, don't buy that shit. Don't send it to me.
She bought you something else too, didn't she? She bought me a pressure washer. She wanted to buy a fridge.
She said she bought me a pressure washer.
Did she?
I don't know.
Well, I got one because she went to Lowe's and got it for me because we needed to pressure wash the house. So she's like, I'll get one. I'm like, well, don't get the super expensive one. Just get like a normal one.
She's like, I bought the pressure washer. I lost it. I'm like, how do you lose the pressure washer? I don't know.
Because it's handy.
She wanted to buy me a pressure washer.
She was like,
buy it, mail it to me. What happened?
This would be a conversation. Hey, do you want a paint sprayer? I'm like, for what? It's like, you know, for painting. I'm like, Wayne's World, hello. I don't paint houses, therefore I don't need the necessity of a paint spray rig. Like,
yeah, if I need a
like if you want to spend coins, buy a van and buy me a van rig and I'll steam clean carpets like Brett was doing and slay money. Like, that's something if you want to throw money at me like that. But like, I don't know. I don't want to take advantage of credit and all that crazy shit just because she's in a hot mood to spend. It's like, no. I don't need a stove. I don't need a fridge.
I've tried to tell her I don't need nothing.
I got my own rugs. I like to get my own shit as much as I can.
To save the money. Stop buying shit.
Nah.
No, it's a camera. It hooks up to your glasses, and I don't need that. I don't need that at all.
But then
she got me like a little Fitbit thing, and within a month of having it, that company sent me an email like, we're out of business. We're done. So I said, well, what the fuck?
She sent dash cams. So I got all kinds of motion sensor spy cameras all over the place.
So you could imagine a parent has like $500,000 in retirement or something.
Her with $500,000, we'd have like pet llamas or some crazy shit.
No, that's what it's like. You're getting rugs, you're getting paint sprayers, you're buying power washers.
So that's what she wanted to get.
Yeah, I just want you to have your own money, Kathy. And Kathy's like, I'll buy anything.
Because she paid up her credit, so it's like her credit's clean.
It has to be.
Well, no, she said she paid off her cards. Like Steve helped her do it, so she paid off her cards before she could spend anymore. So as long as she's doing it and paying it off, I mean, it's not too bad. It's just like make it count. Like buy good shit. Don't just send anything just to send stuff. Like you care. And that
Yeah,
pissed her
like
off.
I need a car
She
seat.
wanted me to take more advantage of it. I think like she was wanting me to be like, hey, could I get a new skateboard for me and Max, or can we get drums, or?
Fuck
But
no.
I didn't want to do it. Like
No, I don't.
you
The
had the
shit I
chance.
need, I bought the shit that I need. I don't need anything.
That was my point on it. It was like you had that chance and you didn't do it. I asked for
I'm
a
not
guitar when I was
broke.
a kid. I begged for a fucking guitar when I was a kid, and you wouldn't get me a guitar. Like that was your shot. So trying to get me a guitar now in life is like, why? I got 2. I got 5. I don't even know what I
She won't
got
buy me
anymore.
drum stuff. Like,
Yeah,
just the
because what
drumsticks.
should I get Paul? I'm like, send him some drumstick, get him some drum heads, find out what sizes. Well, I don't know about all that. Like, take an interest in this shit.
Yeah,
It's
just learn about it. It's not
not just
really
a
that
passing.
difficult.
I could see if it was like some video game you played for 10 minutes and then you put it down, but it's like you've been playing drums for fucking 30 years.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd rather have a snare head than a fucking paint sprayer that I'm not using.
you could come home and be like, well, I gave up the drums. That's done. That shit, I got tired of it finally. 5 decades in. Like, come
No,
on.
my drums are set up in my bedroom. I got a whole room just for drums.
I want to get electric drums.
I've got a set of electric drums. I don't fuck with them.
Well, ship them out here for me and Max. I want this boy to start playing the drums.
It's possible.
Tell Kathy she'll fund it.
They're Remo. They're old, but it's got the brain. It's a
As long
5.
as it runs, that's what counts. I got an extra amp. I can play it.
Have a kick pedal. It just doesn't have a beater.
That's
Yeah,
probably cheap.
Yeah, beater ain't but $20. Oh, and my kick drum beater's like broken out. So I stole it from the electronic drum set.
1 out of 10.
So I gotta keep going.
I want to know whatever happened to my amp and guitars. Gordon had. Nobody will ever tell me, or nobody knows.
Your amp?
Well, yeah, like before Gordon died, he was talking to me because he got a hold of me on Facebook and he gave my number. So, like, you would call him and talk to you.
How'd he die?
UD.
I remember that.
But like he was trying to. He called me out of desperation. He's like, man, I'm fucked up. He's like, I've been trying to kick drugs for a while now, and he's like, but I've been clean. He's like, and I just figured I could play some guitar and that'll help me focus and keep off the shit or whatever. He's like, I won't sell you shit or anything. If you could loan me something, I'm like, yeah, man. I was like, go to homegirl's house, and I still got some guitars and an amp over there from when I was kicking it with her for a month. And then it seemed to be okay, and like she was posting pictures of him and her hanging out, and her kids were there, so I knew he wasn't on dope or anything. It seemed like he was cleaning up. And then like a week after that, he called and he's like, man, shit's just going bad, and he wanted to come out. He's like, is there any way I can just come out and crash the trip out? I'm like, man, I wish you could. That was like when she was like 3 months pregnant with Max or whatever. But like it was a hard pregnancy for her. So it's like there was no way. And I was like, man, I wish I could. I was like, if you could find, like, if you could save up enough money to like get a tent or something. I know backyards where people let you kick it for free. He could have stayed in Oxnard or up at the ranch or something, but I don't know. And then like,
What the overdose on?
I don't know. I couldn't get a hold. I tried to get a hold of Roy, and he's like, so and so knows more about it than I do. And Billy only had tentative details, and he was like, ask Roy, but I didn't really find anybody that knew everything about it. And I'm not talking to Otis still at the moment.
Why
She got
not?
pissed. She got mad at me on Facebook over some dumb shit because I'm took something she said, and I was like, well, just don't forget that there are people that are falsely accused of shit. And she snapped and flipped out like, don't even dare make this about you and blah, 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 blah. Like, I know your situation, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, I wouldn't even mention my situation where I was falsely accused and proven innocent. Like, I'm not even talking about that. Like, I was just saying, like, there's other people out there. Like, you can't have a heavy hand of judgment on every goddamn thing. Like, come on. So that was the end of her. But
Yeah,
she
you
still,
can't judge people. You have to.
she still follows on Instagram. So it's like, I don't care. That's how we've always been. Like, we're that kind of friends where we hate each other most of the time, but then we're friends for a long, long, long time, and then we'll piss each other off. That's what best friends do in some cases.
Yeah, have a couple year fallout and you get back together. Like, what was that all about?
Dude, the letter I wrote back in the day was brutal. It was so bad and so vile. And it had everybody's approval. Everybody read it and they're like, God damn, that's fucked up. You got to give it to her. And then she was all smiles and we gave it to her, and it was just like watching her get crushed, like, oh, breathtaking.
I would just say that she was a good singer. And that's it.
Well, no, we had lots of fun. Like, me and her and Billy used to go out and do shit, and we'd see crazy shit.
Yeah, Billy was okay. Hung out with
That's
him a
what
few times.
we saw Baphomet. Like,
He was okay. He was a good singer.
He's in Carolina.
Doing what?
He just has his little farm. He hangs out with his wife and raised his kid. Now he's just farming, kicking it.
And I bet he misses music and stuff.
I'm sure he has at least home stuff to play.
Like, if you're just a singer, I'm like, you can't just
You
sing.
can just go to karaoke.
Like, I drum, I'm not in a band, but I can play drums. If you're just a singer, like, just sing to yourself.
You can sing in the shower.
Yeah, like, you're jonesing for a band at some point.
All the time.
I want to hear backup tracks.
I want the power of my shit. That's why I mostly play our music when I do my lives. A, because it won't give me a copyright violation. But B, if I'm gonna listen to some shit, I'm gonna listen to myself. Like,
I just listen to myself play drums.
These guys had the same tune for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Like, great. Black Magic, yay. But, you know, it's 40 years old. Come on. Like, my shit's fresh.
Prissy Cartier.
I tried being her friend on Facebook, but she never interacted with me, so I dusted her.
Exactly. So Little Bart was like running a studio or something. It's like, well, I want to come record drums.
1 out of 10.
And I just never heard anything from it. So I said, all right, whatever.
Yeah, they're all like that. They're all the same inclusive, fucking holier than thou people they were back in the day.
Yeah, so I guess you gotta be too busy. Like, half of it, I'm like, you don't remember half of anything that we went through. Like, I knew you guys for years. You don't remember anything we went through?
Like, where'd it go? How do you forget everything?
Yeah, I was like, I want to record drums at Little Bart's studio. You help facilitate that. No response.
Because for whatever reason, they thought she was high society somehow. Like,
well, Heather's an instrument.
Well, yeah, just because the guy that your ex-husband was rich That doesn't mean you get to keep his status when you get a new guy. Like, she married fucking Donnie Dirtbag and thought she was still going to be queen bee, like high society. It's like, nah. And then she raised her one daughter normal, and then the other daughter raised her thinking she was some kind of princess or whatnot.
I think she's got 3 or 4 kids.
I tried being Heather's friend on Facebook for a while, but it's like, dude, you think you're an Instagram queen, but you're preaching Jesus. Like, it doesn't add up. You can't be selling Jesus and selling sex. Like, I mean, I guess at some point you can't really separate the two because you're a woman and you're a Christian. You're going to sell your own self sexually somehow or other, or whatever you engage in. I don't know. See, that's when it all dissolves and you got to be like, okay, so now that's stupid. So what's the reality of it? And
The reality of it's ego. It's all ego.
But it's beyond that. Once you lose ego, then what? What do you do when you're a blank slate? That's what no one else has had to face that I had to face, the full blank slate. Like, when I try to remember some shit, I know what to look up in the file, but the file's just white.
So the guy, Jeff Lee Peterson, his motto, one of his mottos is suffer and die. So when people are like, what do I do here? He's like, maybe you need to suffer a little bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll figure it out. So he's like, sounds like you need to suffer.
Well, since COVID prevents me from my dentist doing anything, I've had to do 2 of my own root canals and 1 extraction.
Yeah, I can't go to the dentist either. I wanted my teeth cleaned. Well, that's a 6-month fucking. Can you make an appointment 6 months out?
I had to gore this nerve out, and this one I'm working on still. I've only half dug out the root, so it's tender here and there.
Half of that's because you're in California.
No, I have full coverage. I have dental insurance. I can go get the work done if the dentist will fucking show up to do it, but he doesn't want to risk it.
Other places are operating.
No, nobody wants to take me because I have 5 teeth that need to go so I can get my implants.
I think that's California.
I've got 5 teeth and 4 of them fucking root canaled already.
I've had a couple fillings done, some teeth cleanings.
I can't do fillings and I don't want to because the one time I did like the temporary filling on myself, it swelled and that was pain, baby. Like, it felt like someone just said, like, you know how when you turn the TENS unit up too much and your hand just clenches down? It suddenly felt like that, but like clamps on my head, like, grrr. And I was just like digging at it with the fucking knife, like, no. I dug that shit out and was like, whoo. Good stuff. So yeah, suffering. I suffer every moment, every day, man. Like, all I do is lift shit with this bum fucking wing. Like, look how skinny my arm is, guy.
Yeah, your shoulder's fucked.
I can't do the overhead like that. I can't throw overhead like shooting basketball. I got no strength anymore for that. But everything else, I've got full range of motion, and I've got guitar stamina still, and I can do like all these motions. But anything up ahead, it wears me out in 5 minutes because they didn't reach. Well, no, they didn't get me on a physical therapy regimen doing that part. So I got like a lot of catching up to do. I need to get back on the weight lift.
Start with 5-pound weight.
Well, no, I got 5-pounders. I need to get back like in the gym. Like I used to go, everybody has a gym membership and they'd be like, hey, what are you doing? Let's get baked and go to the gym. I'm like, all right. And we'll go knock out some weights. Like a Sadicor, we had the full on gym set up in the warehouse because we would score pieces here and there. I had a fucking pinball machine. We had golden tea machine.
But you're
We had
44.
speed bag, the heavy bag.
That's not that old.
I know. That's why it's just a matter of getting into it and doing it. There's nowhere to buy a weight set here. Like, play it against sports and then whatever. Everybody I know is either moved away or like they turned into a dickhead, so I don't really deal with them until they're ready to talk.
Yeah, we're splitting. The country's splitting.
Well, no, just naturally, like, it was crazy, dude. Like, you remember the dog B? Like, we had to put the dog to sleep because Joel was taking care of it, but the dog was old and it had tumors or whatever. So the dog had to be put to sleep. Then the next day his mom died. And then a week after that his son died. His son was only like 34.
Shit.
So it was like a brutal Christmas week. And like now he's got to, like, they're selling the house and all that, so he's got to move to his grandkids and his kids in Texas and live there. So he's just super sad to go. And it's like he ain't really got anybody to help him pack up, but I ain't got the time to spare to do it.
Get over it.
I don't have time to. Like, as soon as it's my day off, I got to catch up on all the shit I don't do during the rest of the week. Like tomorrow I got to do laundry, have to load of dishes, trash, like the big trash. Oh, and I got to go to UPS for Team Smoke. Woo woo. And got to go to the bank. So that's like a good 3 hours of actual shit I have to do. But then to like get over there, just to get 5 miles across town, like anytime I've ever tried to take the bus, I've waited no less than 45 minutes to an hour. Like,
So you don't have a car.
yeah, the car's there, but DMV, I can't go to DMV and get any driver. I don't have anybody to borrow their car to drive.
You can't go to DMV right now.
Yeah, and DMV ain't going anyway. So it's like, well, I was ready to get my license and start driving the shitmobile, even though it's bad on gas, just because it's a car. But
Where's Mom's car at?
right there in my driveway. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's ready to go, except for the wind. I need the windshield fixed, and then I got to charge up the battery. But other than that, it runs and it's fine. But it's getting the license. And I've had my shit clean for so long, like my driving record's impeccable now, so I'm actually good rating again, so my insurance won't be a lot. And now I can't do it. It's hilarious. It's like the whole world's being forced to live my existence, staying home, just sitting in your room, getting high, watching TV, talking online, doing all the things I love. And some people are snapping, they can't take it. But other people,
A lot of people can't take it. And
it's sad.
We haven't had a day off. Nothing's changed. Oh, it's the epidemic, and nothing's changed.
But it's all predicted, so you know it's bullshit.
I know it's bullshit. I'm like, nothing's changed.
I did the pandemic playlist, remember? On
When
Every
Thanksgiving,
song.
what are you doing for Thanksgiving? Nothing. Staying at home.
I put up like
How
20
the
different
fuck is
songs
Thanksgiving?
from 1960 to today. I found like 28 different songs that talked about government flu, epidemic, permanent disease, like all these things that were showing, hey, this is what they're going to do.
How many different movies?
Now they're doing their aliens bullshit. You saw that was part of the stimulus thing, right?
Oh, aliens?
Alien disclosure in 180 days.
There's no such thing as aliens.
Well, you just think that. You just don't know.
No, there's no such thing as aliens.
I don't have to believe in your faith. I don't want to condemn you for having your faith, but you have to have faith in my thing.
There's no such thing as aliens. There's no life anywhere else. Because I watched something about stars, planets. Like the planets aren't even planets; they're just stars. So it wipes out. There's Mars, Venus, Jupiter. Like no, those are just stars.
Well, if they were moving around so much,
about them.
if they were always moving, how would they have static positions? And that's another thing. Like nobody wants to ever discuss it. I'm like, dude, why do you guys believe constellations and zodiac? Like, it's Orion's belt. Look, he's Orion the hunter. Like,
it's just stars.
Are you fucking retarded? It's 3 stars they're brighter than the ones around them. If you look around enough, you see stars that are brighter than others all over the place.
Yeah, like if you've ever been to the country, there's thousands and thousands of stars.
Yeah, I know. I can go an hour up north and sit on the mountain a mile high and look up and be like, damn! And these people
get away from light pollution. There's thousands and thousands of stars.
The moon affects me. It's a full moon. It affects, like, no, it doesn't. If the moon affected you, it would affect every fucking body because we're all consistent of the same bodies, dum-dums.
Well, what about werewolves?
You know,
The moon,
that actually I could see if a demon could make you transform somehow. I
the
don't know
moon
how.
affects me. What about werewolves?
What about goblins? Nobody ever talks about goblins. Like, those guys are really hard workers and they don't get any of the credit they deserve. Like,
Why
who
don't
did that?
people trace
I
the
don't know.
rainbow? Like, find the base of the rainbow.
There's rainbows all the time now. Have you seen
Maybe
that?
there's gold there.
No, the full circle ones. I got one
I've
on
seen
video
that.
last week. I caught one on video. And then I catch moonbows.
I didn't find gold though. Like, dang.
I did find gold when I was up in the mountains, up in Los Padres. I know where there's a giant hunk of quartz the size of my couch and like 5 feet tall, but it's 3/4 of it's buried in the mountain. And I started uncovering it, and there's a gold vein in it. So I know where there is gold.
There's
But
gold everywhere. That's something I saw. There's gold everywhere.
Whatever. Like, I'm gonna leave it be. And then if there's ever like a desperate time, I'll be like, I'll hitchhike up there and dig that shit out and get just enough to get back on feet.
Build a monolith in your backyard.
I kind of have one, the avocado tree. I keep chopping all the branches off of it, and then
That was
tacking
another
it.
article. The monolith in Nevada vanished.
The guy admitted it was an art installation, and people were just copycatting him.
Yeah, I said, what the hell are we talking about?
Because they saw 2001 Space Odyssey. Like, okay, you saw the first movie. What about the second one? Nobody saw 2010? Like, come on. The second one was way dope. Part 2 is Jupiter supernovas. And then there's 2 suns.
There's 9 suns.
Which is also some bullshit, because every other star they say supernovas burns out. And that's a red dwarf for a minute and then gone. But it
I
happens.
think all that's just
hoo-ha.
Yeah, the monolith, megastar, dying star.
Oh, we got a photograph of a black hole. Well, how'd you do that? Because the whole concept of a photograph, on every sense of the word we know it, digital or paper, involves light reception and transmission, reflecting back, carrying the fucking image information. So how does this black hole suck in everything, including light? So how do you get a picture if you can't even get the light to go that way without it being sucked in?
So you're anti-science.
Yeah. I'm anti-stupid science, anti-pseudoscience.
You're anti-science.
Yeah, people were anti-science too when they're like, you could put wash rags and meat together and it makes flies. I don't believe that. Well, you're anti-science.
A baby is just a group of cells. That's a fetus.
Everything's a group of cells.
You're anti-science.
We're all protons and neutrons vibrating at different wavelengths. Yeah.
No, you're anti-science.
They don't even understand science. If they understood science, they would understand that right now we are God's slip particle experiment.
I don't even know if it's an experiment. I think it's a. I think that's probably the most.
That's the only way we can. That's the most logical comprehension anyone's come up with. They just don't tie it to God, as God being the observer, and the observer determines which path it's going down. And if he doesn't like the outcome of one, he can reverse it. Because it's God's will above all else. That's why I always tell people, like, I think God really wants to. He could save every single person in some way, shape, or form and bring them to where he needs them to be. He's not going to lose just one. Isn't that what it says? He leaves the flock to find the one stray. If he's going to find the one stray, he's going to find everyone. He's going to get them all.
But if you're stray and you're like, fuck off, I'm not stray.
But you belong to God. Who can take you from God? If God's God, then you can't take anything God owns anyway, because he's God.
It's God. You can't win like an argument against God. I don't see it.
How could you? How could you even be the devil? Like, so God created a thing that's based on his living essence somehow, but it's against him.
It's perfect to be everyone's personal choices
definition-
and things to throw it into a stray.
Well, by definition, it can never be more powerful. It could only be as powerful as God at that point, except there's no time because time is a concept God instilled in everything. See, it goes into layers where it's like there's just no way to know. The design is so intricate, so complex and simple all at once.
That's why I say it's only if you're a narcissist, then you're like, wait a minute, I figured something out. Like, what did you figure out?
I figured out how to untrigger people and deprogram them and lead by example the right way. I condition people, a whole city, person by person. But not in a bad, evil, mad scientist kind of way, like in a good, hey, I'm going to pick up trash when I see it on the ground, and I'm going to stop for old ladies and help them, and I'm going to throw change out to the homeless people and not kick them and tell them to hit the road and quit begging. Because I don't like that shit. My only rule for the homeless is be fucking presentable. If you're going to hang out in front of my store, hoping to get a handout, be clean. This motherfucker... Because there's like normal homeless people, and then there's these two dudes. They come and sit there, and one of them looks like the heat miser got his fire put out, and he's just the soot miser. He just chimney sweeped all day and night. And the other guy looks like fucking Shawshank, and he crawled through a tunnel of shit in his white clothes to get out of the tunnel. But he's like Baby Huey's just a big old belly and a bald head. But his face is dirty. Every part of him's fucking dirt, like he just rubs dirt on himself, like, oh, all day long in sweats or something. Like, dude, what the fuck do you do? Like, my 6-year-old can play in the mud and not get that dirty. And you're filthy.
We were talking about that. How people are like, hey, I'm traveling across country to Florida. I just need gas money to make to Florida. Like, are you sure you're not a crackhead?
I was homeless. And what did I do? I would jump in the pool.
You're not a crackhead?
If you're that homeless, jump in a swimming pool and clean all of yourself and your clothes at the same time. Like,
yeah, like I'm pretty sure you're a crackhead.
I only need $2.50, but it's not for drugs.
Nah, I just need gas money. I picked my family up and we're driving cross country to Florida. Okay. You sure you don't smoke crack?
Chris still remembers that.
I don't smoke crack.
We had a standoff one time.
Like I'm positive you smoke crack.
We sat in my car for 45 minutes, me and Chris and Shane, because nobody wanted to get out and pump 19 cents worth of gas. But that was when like gas
crackhead in your family.
Well, no, that was when gas was 87 cents a gallon, so it was like a quarter gallon. It was just enough to get us home, but nobody wanted to get out and pay. Like, here's 19 cents. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm driving. It's my car, and y'all used up my gas. Somebody's getting out and all I got's 19 cents till I get to the bank, you know? Like, fucking get out and pump that shit. And they're like, it's not even a pump's worth. I'm like, well,
fuck it.
Yeah, it's enough to get us home.
Gotta get home.
And we were only 2 blocks from the fucking Shane's house. That was the funniest part. Like, it was. I
remember I gave a guy at a gas station like $5 and change. It was all coins. And I was pumping the gas. He didn't stop the pumping. It was at like $8, $9, $10. Before I looked, I said, "Oh shit! I don't have change for this." So I was like, "I'm gonna fill my tank up, and I'm out."
I miss gas and go.
It was a gas and go, but I paid for gas, but he didn't stop the pump. So when I was cleaning my windows, and I said, "Shit, the thing went for like $8." I paid for three something and change. And he's times.
Me and Bob are the reason why they made everybody switch to pay first, because we would religiously go from spot to spot whenever we needed gas and just fill up the trucks, fill up the car. Like Chris would go in, he'd be like, "You want anything?" I'm like, "Yeah, grab me a donut and a Coke, please." And I got the gas, and he's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then fucking I just fill up, and he'd jump in, and then we'd split. And he'd be like, "I didn't see you go in there and pay." I was like, "Because I didn't go in and pay." Cha-ching!
1 off 10.
And he'd be like, "Holy shit, man. They know me there." And I'm like, "Well, you didn't do nothing. I did it." He's
So
like,
no
"Yeah,
one's heard from Bart in months and months and months.
Nah, they did hear from him. I thought.
And
Right
Kevin
before-
was staying at mom's house.
They were looking for Bart. I thought they found him because remember when the house got shot at?
No, I didn't hear about that.
What else happened? There's a
Our
bunch of
house
shit.
got shot at?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, so the one night, fucking Kathy, because Kathy was sending me it was either my birthday or Max's birthday. It was some kind of thing she was sending us. She was like, "Hey, I'm sending you." Oh, it's for the Thanksgiving. She's like, "I'm sending you guys some money for Thanksgiving, so you don't have to
Our
try to
house
cook
got
it,
shot at?
take Max Chinese food or something." So she's like, "Hey, I didn't make it because somebody slashed the tires and put sugar in the gas tank." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
That
Like,
was
is
Kevin.
And then, but no, no, she said Kevin had been doing good and been staying clean, like they've been keeping an eye on him and regulating him or whatever. Because I asked Steve too, and he said the same thing. And then fucking the house got shot at. So then I started putting in calls to everybody. I'm like, "Yo, man," just texting people like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing in my town where someone's shooting at my mom's house? Like, what the fuck?" And that was the end of it because I told him, "Fucking don't make me come back there."
So the house got shot at?
Yeah, the bullets went into the fucking garage. Shit.
What?
Like, yeah.
She definitely
The
told me
cops,
about
the detectives, the cops, or whoever the report that the way she explained it, they said they pulled up on the where the ditch starts and just pulled up there and just like pop, pop, pop. Shot like 38 or something.
I'll ask Mom about that next time I talk to her.
Yeah, dude, I was pissed. That's when that's when I contacted Brett. I hit him on Facebook. I'm like, "Yo, where the fuck's Bart? Call me." And he's like,
No,
"Well,
it's
call
not
me."
Bart, it's Kevin now.
Yeah, but see, she said Kevin's been doing good. So
No, Kevin's not doing good. He's the drug dealer. He's like a little punk. That's why the car got sugared and all that shit. I'm like, yeah, that's what Kevin did. He ripped someone off. They knew where it was.
No. Oh, you didn't even hear the other crazy shit. You remember Bashir's?
Yeah, Mike, cheers.
Fucking so they all got on to Tweak apparently in recent months with Bart and fucking the one dude Lair Bear. Remember Lair Bear?
No.
Larry? Well, Larry murdered Bashir's wife.
What?
Over some crazy Tweak shit. Yeah, he murdered the bitch and threw her in a ditch off out in Indian River Road on the sticks, like
Holy shit.
Yeah, like, and I'm like, and you're fucking letting Kevin stay there, like, knowing this dude's a fucking heroin dealer, like, get the fuck out of here, like, y'all are fucking.
I don't know what Kevin's up to. I know he's young, but I'm like, I don't. The kid's nuts.
He's scared to
I
talk.
think Bailey gets a pass because Bailey's like, I can hook up with a guy and.
I thought Bailey was married now.
Whatever, but I'm like, I think she gets the easier route.
She's full grown now. She's like in her late 20s, isn't she?
Yeah, she gets a pass, but Kevin is like, nah, I'm still.
I told Kathy, send him out here. I'll put him into shape.
We got close to her. I was like, he could move to Richmond, but he's going to be under fucking lock and key.
Nah, see, I'll take him right down the road to the homies and be like, here, educate this motherfucker.
Oh, my first initial plan was like, I might have to just beat the shit out of him the moment he arrives.
I'll give the homies fucking some bud, and they will, all 5 of them, 6 of them, however many I ask for and however much bud I feel like throwing out, they will all whip his ass until I say that's good. Like, I got a good.
I could get him a job. Like, I could get you a job, but
I ain't getting him no job until he's fucking straight. I want him to get straight. Like, I'm not gonna let you represent my family name in any way, shape, or form.
But
Be
your
a branch
dad's
off on
Bart.
the tree and be that. It doesn't matter. Bart could
Bart's
be
my dad.
regenerated too. I put Bart back on the straight and narrow to a degree here and there, but I didn't get to do it fully as I like. With Brett, I got cut off. He got married. They fucked up my program. They got him married, and that ruined it because he was doing better. And then fucking he got proud and had to move out of the treehouse before he was ready. He had to fly
Yeah,
the nest.
all ego.
He jumped
all
out and flew, but
ego.
he was enough. So he faltered. And now he's stuck with the wine camel.
Yeah, I told him, I said, you're not invited to my wedding. And he's like, oh, why? No one trusts you.
Because you're gonna get drunk and turn it into wedding crashers.
Yeah, it's like you're going to get drunk. I know you're going to get drunk.
I wish we could have gone to his wedding and gave a speech.
I wish you guys luck.
like, yeah, I used to pounce this motherfucker, and he'd bring a date home, and I'd burn a pile of leaves and smoke that piece of shit out, and be like, get back home to your husband, woman, and just terrorize him.
Yeah, Kevin's the catalyst to all the crazy shit that's happening in our parents' house.
And he needs to be dealt with.
But what can you do?
You'd be fucking amazed. I can do
I
a lot.
would be amazed, but I'm like, get him out of there. There's got to be a way to get him out of there.
Yeah, he needs to man up and call me and talk to me.
I'm 40. I got a job. Like, I'm not going down there and fight a grown teenager.
It ain't about fighting.
And he doesn't even know me. Like, we're family. I don't even think he would recognize me as family, but we are family.
I wouldn't even send family. I would send other people.
It's insane. Yeah, she said they dumped sugar in the gas tank and all this and that. And I'm like,
You remember that big dude, Jimmy?
no.
And Troy? Remember Big Troy, the redhead guy?
I do remember him.
Like, I know a lot of giant. Josh Webster, dude, he's giant, man. I know a lot of big people that got my back, and a lot of other people that y'all don't even know. Like, you know how I am back there. You don't even know 10,000 of the people I know. Like, I get around. I'm at spots you ain't even thought of. Already there.
No, one thing I think is when you lived in Ocean View, you're a drug dealer.
Nope.
That's what people used to tell me. Chris,
I smoked weed once with
Chris, the guy with the third nipple.
And I smoked weed with Sarah Webster, and I would only smoke weed with a few people.
I can't think of his last name.
I wasn't selling weed until it was
when we were in Ocean View.
Yeah, we were still in Ocean View, because then I still kept connections so I could keep Nathan supplied. And then once Chris Crozier and Nathan got hooked up with the OV posse,
There it is.
then they had bud and they had acid, but I could still
Chris
get better.
Crozier.
I ain't heard from him in a long time either. Like, I was talking to him on Facebook a while back, but then he fell off. He was cool.
Like, I remember your brother and all this stuff. And no shit.
Dude, we used to party our balls off. I don't even remember half the shit we did.
It's a crazy story.
Nathan was like a recovering tweaker last I heard.
Really?
Yeah, like I tried talking to Chris, his brother, on Facebook for a while, but then it was just like everybody else. Oh, I really only contacted you because I see you're growing medical weed and I want some free weed. Like, thanks, but no thanks. Like, just because we grew up and smoked out, like, I'm not going to send you a bunch of free shit. That's not how it works. Like,
I just can't imagine that everyone, like, you went off the deep end. What the fuck? Why is life so hard?
Because
like,
it's
I thought we
frustrating.
all went to church together. I thought you had morals and beliefs and stuff. And
What do you
what
do
did you
when
actually
you've done
believe in?
everything? What do you do when you've done everything right and you still fail?
You just keep going.
What if there's no reason that you failed? You just failed.
Then it's all a test.
But what if you don't understand it? See, there's always rationale. When people have doubt, it's going to keep
That's
adding.
ego.
It's something behind it.
No, it's not behind it. I'm like,
Everything is everything. No.
bigger
Everything is
test.
the power of the living word. In the beginning was the word. It's all the power of the word, just as it always has been, because God
It's
is
a bigger
constant. Right?
test.
A test of what, though?
Of your beliefs.
But beliefs are meaningless because they change.
Because if
As
you
soon
read
as
the
you have
story of
the
Job,
belief,
like you can top that story.
exactly. I look at Job and it says Satan was walking to and fro in the earth.
Yeah.
But
So
it
if you're
also
like,
said,
am
but the
I?
Bible said Satan was cursed to slither in the dust on his belly for the remainder of his days.
But if you look at it like, am I at Job level?
What
Testing.
was Job? Job was a rich guy. I thought God didn't care for the rich because they were haughty.
Either way, if you're like, am I? Have I lost my entire family? I watched all my kids die. Everything you went through. Like, are you at Job level testing? And if yes,
You can't because only Job can be Job.
right. But if you can compare yourself to him
I
and
lost
say,
a
what
kid.
am I going through? Is it worse than him? It's worse than him. Well,
It's
then
not a
definitely
question.
don't
Is
give
it
up.
worse than him? It's worse to me. It's worse to me because it happens to me. When it happens to me, it affects me. So yeah, how can you not think about it that way? It's like it's not a contest. His shit sucks. My shit sucks.
But he took it in stride. The least you can
Well,
do is take it in stride.
Well, you do your best, but I mean, all you can do is keep doing it better and better,
1 out of 10,
and eventually you nail the solo. And then it's like, fuck, this is kind of boring. I got to throw some hijinks into the works just to keep it spicy.
That's ego, though.
Well, no, it's just sheer boredom. Like, I really can get work on such a lockdown where I'm doing my job and I'm taking over other people's duties just to keep them off my back and keep them happy because I don't care. I like doing the work anyway. So to me, it's like, hey, I did this and I did that and I did that. And they're like, damn, what about this? I'm like, got it done. What about that? Done, 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 done. I'm going to go fuck off in the front and smoke my cigarette for the next 15 minutes. All right,
Well,
man.
that's probably
Enjoy.
fair.
It's super fair. Like, I bust
All
ass
you're
there, dude.
commanded to do is work. So if you're working, what the hell?
In
Gotta
2 weeks'
work.
time, I worked this down from 70 pallets of overstock. We got it down to 15 in 2 weeks. It's
Yeah,
constantly.
there's no end to that, though. There's no end to work.
Well, no, but we were way backed up. Like the district manager fucked up and the ordering guy fucked up. And we were getting like 5 pallets per aisle every 2 days. So we had like 6 pallets just full of pet beds. And we still got like 2 full pallets of flip flops. And a pallet full of Converse shoes. And a pallet full of paper towels. Like we were just, dude, I got pictures of it. It was just sick. And it's like, when you go in the Indiana Jones warehouse, that's how I felt going to work. And I just be like,
Nobody's hoarding paper towels right now.
why? There's no fucking shortage.
There's no shortage.
God damn, man. There's plenty of shit out here. Plenty of food. Plenty of paper
I
towels.
haven't seen any evidence of shortage of anything.
Just common sense.
Shit paper. Can we get toilet paper? I saw it. I thought, wow, there's no toilet paper. There's no paper towels. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
when they first made it a thing to do.
Hey. I've been to work every single day. Nothing's changed.
Just people's
Until they made
attitude.
masks mandatory, I would go shopping. I wouldn't have a mask on. The day of, I remember we went to Home Depot and people were giving me the dirtiest of looks because I was like, it's the day of. I'm not wearing a mask. People are giving me the dirtiest looks. I'm like,
Never
It's a-
says shit.
it's fake.
I have my mask that says hoax on it, and then
1 out of 10.
they don't pester me about it. I'm like, don't say shit to me. I'll put it on because, you know, whatever. I'll play your little game, but don't demand shit of me.
I have a paper mask. It's like 3 months old.
I don't wear paper ones.
Like it's a dirty mask.
The work provides them.
It's a dirty mask. It's
Well, no,
not
you
keeping
soak them in
anybody
alcohol.
It's not keeping anybody healthy.
No shit. I try to tell them that, like, yo, when I learned tattooing, shit ain't sterile. You can wipe it clean, but the second air hits it, there's moisture. The moisture carries the dirt. The air carries the dirt. There's fucking airborne particles. Everything fucking falls onto the clean surface even harder because there's someplace for it to land.
It's a
People don't
mask.
understand. They don't understand their science, you know?
You don't believe in science. You don't believe in science.
I believe in Johnny X, or whatever his name was. His twin sister scientists.
You don't believe in science.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. He disappeared, huh?
He had to vanish.
Dude, I've been talking about it though. Like for 2 weeks, I was like, "Where the fuck has George Bush been? Where's Maxine Waters been?" And George Bush came out with a video the other day, trying to be relevant, doing some shit.
Nah, the one. What's his name? Fuck.
Tits McGee.
Nah, the guy that was doing the spirit cooking and all that shit.
Oh, Abramovich.
No, I can't think of his name.
Anthony
Spirit
Weiner.
guy.
The spirit cooking chick was Marina Abramovich.
No, the guy that him and his brother were. His emails got released.
Podesta.
Yeah, that guy's like that guy vanished like nobody's ever vanished before. You don't hear a peep out.
A lot of people.
Yeah, it's like he's not allowed to talk.
Everybody's being subdued.
That guy can't talk about anything.
Because people want to know, like, did you do the shit or not? Like,
He did the shit.
we all got to
The
fess
weird
up our crimes. I had to answer for all my crimes. I had to, you know, like, get it over with. That's part of life. You do a bunch of shit, you got to do your time for it. You pay your dues, and then it's over with. And life goes on, and you're back to normal.
Yeah, John Podesta.
1 out of 10.
Podesta rhymes with molesta. Just saying, hypothetically.
No, I had that statue in his house. It was like a Jeffrey Dahmer murder. But it was a statue of it.
Well, you know, can't say much about that. Artwork's artwork, and that's in your private home.
I guess, but
Even if it's something I find distasteful, if that's what you're into and that's what you like, you have the right to do it in your home. Like that's the whole
I
point.
want a nice landscape. I want a painting of the landscape.
Well, no, like remember when we broke dude's lawn jockey? Like if you want to have some lawn jockey shit hanging on your wall, great. But you want to put it out in your front yard? No.
No.
That's just how it works. Like there's societal standards and you can't cross those lines. You're fucking the dog in your living room, no one's going to say nothing. You go out on the lawn like the chick in Vegas and start fucking the dog, and you're going to jail.
Yeah, some stuff's too far.
The country went to hell. It's still on its way. I think it's just to draw everybody out. Small parts isolated and destroyed. Everybody's hey, let's come out of our particular closet. I'm a crazy person. I like to do mushrooms 24/7, or I'm this kind of person. I'm not. They all come out of the closet, get their labels, and then, okay, you're going to this camp. Y'all are going to that camp. Everybody goes for re-education. because that's how it
what they've
happened
been
before.
talking about there.
Because it's the same playbook that Hitler ran. Like
It
I
is,
don't
but
know how
it's subtle, suggested, and then it'll go away for a couple of weeks, and then something else will come up.
because they don't want anybody to keep the willpower against it, because once you determine everything and figure it all out, it is sheer willpower and intention.
But if you
We
come
are
out
the
full tilt re-education camps, it's like that's insane. But if you hint at it a week later, you hint at it again. A week later, you hint at it again. 3 months later, it's like, well, re-education camps, that's not a bad idea.
think about it like you're on one side of a wall with your team and the other side's on the other side of the wall, and you're taking turns trying to push it back and forth over this line like a tug of war, but a tug of push. And you only get one move at a time though, and you don't know if the other team's going to push gently or push hard, so you have to be prepared at any moment for anything. So they're making sounds like, okay guys, get ready, and they're trying to psych you out so you prepare improperly for the push instead of just being prepared for the moment.
Wow,
So as soon as
okay.
you feel it, your senses lock in and you fucking run with it. That's where you're supposed to be at, like fully instinctive, aligned and tuned, whatever the fuck terminology and construct your people put you to it. It's all the same thing, being aligned with the will of God and the positive forces of the universe for one purpose: destruction of all that is dark and evil, because it has no place in the light.
What about being God, what is it, the spaghetti monster in the sky or some weird shit?
It's just another form of
It's like, oh, you believe in God? That's a spaghetti monster in the sky.
Cthulhu. It's
Yeah,
all
you're so
Cthulhu.
great.
That's what I don't get to. They're like, well, this guy wrote novels. Yeah, he wrote fiction novels, science fiction, but it was based on, oh my God, it was based on stories he heard that people like. These are the same villagers that danced around a bonfire for fertility, right? Even though we know that heat destroys sperm, these villagers are jumping over a fire pit and walking on hot coals to make fertility happen. But their other science is perfect, right?
You
Fucking
can't deny
knuckles.
science.
Ancient grains. What grains aren't ancient?
Ancient grains.
If the plant's still growing today, it's because it was growing then and it kept fucking reproducing.
Ancient grains.
Our bread's made with ancient grains. I'm like, what? You dug them out of the Pharaoh's tomb, you thief? Like, what happened? Where'd you get these ancient grains? Like, you got a time machine and you're like, that's what you brought back was some ancient grains.
Ancient grains.
I'd bring back like an antique chick from back in the day and be like, this is what titties were like back then, guys. Check it out. They're
Ancient
square.
grains. It's old bread.
I've been putting together a bit about that, like all the shit millennials, their favorite stupid words, like literally iconic scenario. It's like a George Carlin piece because there's a lot of phrases.
Insurrection.
Oh my God, insurrection is a military term.
Word insurrection ever.
It's a military term. It's a direct defiance of an order. That's why the Star Trek movie was Star Trek Insurrection. Picard
insurrection.
Orders from a higher
capital.
You can't have it unless you're a military.
Like it's not insurrection.
Look it up. It's a military thing. When you defy direct orders from higher command, you're committing insurrection. That's what I understood it as, because that's where I first heard about it, and it was defined in the Marine Corps in boot camp. Like for all the shit I missed out on, I did sit through hours and hours of classes and had to take quizzes and shit. Like they teach you a lot of history there.
Wow,
a lot of crazy history and shit.
I should teach people about brainwashing, and
they do. You just got to learn to listen to us and decipher what we're putting out there. You got to learn how to read titles. When I put a title out, when I play some shit, everything is all a thematic thing. You have to figure out what the theme is, what the moral of my story is for that night, based on the title of it, based on what I talked about. Like all of it's there. All of it's out there. It has
I think the theme today is people are fucking brainwashed.
It's all conditioning. If you're afraid of clowns, it's a conditioned emotional response. Somebody talked you into it. You heard it on TV. People are afraid of clowns. Oh yeah, I am too. Oh, I guess I can be too. And then they cement it in their head. It's all power of suggestion, hypnosis, self-hypnosis, self-reinforced delusion.
That
It goes
book,
back to
The Conspirator's Hierarchy, that's where I read about where everything that's happening today that
Did
makes
you read
sense.
the Unabomber? Read the Unabomber manifesto.
The Unabomber of what?
Manifesto.
I haven't read that.
Yeah, most people don't. They're scared of it, but it tells you exactly what the leftists were planning and how they're going to carry it out. All of it, the whole goals, the reason why it explains the psychology of the undermining of the American family, the American male, and the American willpower to live and conquer and subdue the earth the way we're meant to, the right way, not this trashy bullshit, fucking Babylon system. People left Europe to come here to get away from that shit because it's so great over here. And then they're going to still try to foist their fucking system of monarchy and enslavement. Fuck y'all. We fought them off before. We'll fight them off again.
Thanks to immigrants.
Hypothetically.
Like immigrants built this country.
I don't own a gun. I'll never own a gun. I don't care for guns. I had my fun with guns and my close calls. That's good enough for me. I got away with having the gun in school for Larry. Fucking, man, all kinds of stupid shit. Me and Anthony were walking from over to Chrissy's house one time. Some dudes just rolled up on us and were pointing a gun when they drove by. Like, just crazy shit. You saw how it got back there. Fucking Green Run got dirty.
Oh, for sure.
The last time I was out there, like I ran out of bud that I brought with me for the trip. But I knew Aries had bud, dude I'd met back in jail back in the day. So like I hit him up. He was like, yeah, this spot. But like it looked like fucking a bomb had gone off in Green Run. There was no grass anywhere in this joint. It was just dirt pit, like ants had taken over it or something. Just everywhere was just dirt. But not even like normal dirt, like the dustiest, dusty fucking it looked like a movie set, like a ghost town, desolate, ratted out, burned out piece of shit. And as soon as you pull up, like, I got you. What you want? I'm like, I just want buds. And then like half of them are like, and they walk away. It's like, that's the crack dealers and the coke and all the other shit. The weed dudes are different. It's like, yeah, you go over that spot.
One of the security guards at Kempsville just ran into said that Kempsville is like degenerated.
Yeah.
Into gangs and cons. That's insane because when we first moved to Kempsville, it was like 90210.
Yeah, but we were the end of that.
Yeah, that was the end of that.
I helped end all that. Like, our antics were legendary. There's fucking, man, I made my mark on that city, dude. Nobody can deny it. You seen the rail where I rode through the house? They got a guardrail going around their whole fucking front yard up to their driveway. Like, who can say that? I made them make some shit safe by my negligence, falling asleep at the wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody was hurt except me, and nobody cared that I was hurt, so fuck them.
Well, that's what I do is guardrails. So that's exactly how it happens.
But not only that.
Somebody wrecks really bad, and they're like, let's put up guardrail.
I'm still banned from Kitty Hawk.
Why?
For climbing the Wright Brothers Memorial.
Oh, that's probably not good.
You remember that?
Uh-uh.
Like, remember that, it was right after she killed the kid, right? And I was all pilled out all the time. Like, I got all pilled out, and then Shane and Chris called, and they're like, yo, come on, we're going to take a trip. And I'm like, where to? And they're like, we're just going to go to the movies or whatever. We got tickets to the movies. And they were telling me code for acid, and I wasn't picking up on it because I was pilled the fuck out. So somehow I managed to drive over there. I don't even remember the drive over. I just remember when I pulled up, I almost took out the telephone pole across the street from the house. And I was laughing my ass off like, wow, that was close. Glad this ain't my car. And then, like, they're like, dude, what the fuck are you on? I'm like, bunch of stuff. And I'm like, I think I got liquor in the back seat somehow. And they're like, how? You're not 21 yet. You got like 2 months. I'm like, I don't know. I had 2 things beam somehow in the back seat, and I don't know where they came from. And I'm like, I got June. So like, and they're like, well, come on, we're going to Carolina to the beach. I'm like, all right, cool. So in the ride, and then like that was the last thing I remember. Like they're dancing skeletons, and they gave me my share, and I ate them. And then I woke up when we were at the borderline place because like the pills just instantly knocked me out at that point. And then I was like, yo, I don't even think I got money. What am I buying? He's like, you're buying your supplies. He's like, are you out of it or what? I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, I bought that hat and I bought some fireworks and I bought food for everybody. I had money somehow. I had a bunch of money, so I bought a bunch of snacks and shit for everybody. Bought myself a hat. And then I blanked out again. And then we were on the beach and they're lighting fireworks. But then I was like, no longer, I wasn't cloudy from pills at all anymore. That was all done. And I was just straight peaking like harder than ever before. And they're shooting fireworks. I'm like, ah. I'm like, ah. So I fucking grabbed my acoustic guitar and my snack pack that I had for myself and just ran. And then at some point I set the guitar and shit down and just ran. Like I felt like I turned into a wolf and I was just running through the fucking wetlands and Hatteras just and just going and going and going. And they were panicked looking for me all night. They couldn't find me. And then like at sunrise, they found me sitting on the hill playing guitar. Like everything was purple. Like the sunrise, it looked like somebody dyed the photograph purple. And I was sitting there having a good old time, watching the waves and shit, playing music. And they walked halfway up the hill and I did my trick where I clipped and they like got all the way up and I was like, and they're like, where the fuck were you? And I'm like, I've been here. Where were you? And then we're like going back and they're like, they thought I was nodded off and sleeping or whatever, but no, I was just watching the ants on the floor of the truck in the back crawling where I'd spilled soda. And so they decided they'd take a plane tour and didn't tell me. And I didn't have the cash for that anymore anyway. I had like $10 left on me, but I was still tripping pretty good, but I had weed. So I was like, fuck it, man. I saw him walking around. I was like, oh, let's get high. So I smoked a big fat bowl and then hit all my shit really well in the stash spot. And then I looked out the front of the thing and it's like a big trash moor. It's a nice, smooth, clean hill. And it's like, wow, I'm going to take a walk up the hill. And then you get up to the top and it's like this big giant stone nose-shaped fucking monument. I was like, man, I bet I could see everything up there. So I hopped up on it and I'm checking shit out. And then like I started seeing all kinds of fucking cop cars and state troopers and park rangers and shit coming in from all sides. Like just zoning in and I'm like,
they got nothing to do.
I know they're here for me. So I hopped down and like I had my bottle of Coke with me. And I lit up a cigarette. I'm just chilling. And like the one guy approaches all slow. He's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. You got a manhunt or something going? Like, should I be worried about being murdered? Like, what's going on? He's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I think so. Why? What's going on? And he's like, well, you know, we had reports people were acting suspicious. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, get to the point. He's like, were you climbing the monument? I was like, yeah, I climbed up there to get a view. And I climbed back down. He's like, well, you can't do that. I'm like, there's no sign. He's like, what? I said, there's not a sign that says I can't climb it. And he goes, well, you're supposed to know better. And I'm like, well, you have signs that say stay off of this part of the grass and don't step here because of the turtle eggs. I'm like, why wouldn't I expect you to have a sign that says don't climb this perfectly climbable thing? And then he's like, what do you think of the government? And I'm like, what? You know, like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I mean, is the government your friend or are you against the government? I'm like, I pay my taxes when I go to work. If that's what you want to know. I was like, I don't really think about the government. Like, what do you mean? And he's like, he was trying to see if I was tripping, if I'd start talking conspiracy shit or something. Like, dude, I ain't falling for that bait, you amateur bitch. And then, like, they had me in cuffs and they're talking to me and I explained my case. And then here comes Tweedledee and fucking, because they just got off the plane having the time of their lives because we were still tripping balls, you know? Like, we took like 5 hits each. So, I mean, we were going. As soon as they get like, they didn't really notice it till they were like 20 feet away from all the commotion of like 30 officers of different branches standing there. And then they're just both like, hey, what's going on, officers? What did our friend do this time? And they're like, what's he doing? What's he on? Is he on something? They're like, oh no, man, like he drank some cough syrup this morning and we thought he was asleep in the truck. Like, what did he do? And they're like, he climbed the monument. And they're like, oh yeah, he's a rock climber and shit like that. He probably thought it was cool. And he's like, they said the same shit. They're like, is there a sign? And they're like, no, there shouldn't have to be. And he's like, well, he's gone through this before. And when he got away with it, it's because there was no sign. And they're like, well, he ain't getting away with it this time. So they gave me $100 fine. And then the radio came back and they're like, yeah, he's good. He's good to go. No coming back. And I'm like, what does that mean? No coming back? You're going to lock me up? And he goes, no, you can't come back to the city.
What the fuck?
Because it's a historical monument. So I violated a fucking historical monument by climbing on it. So I'm going from City back to North Carolina. I've gone there, obviously, just to get high and drive back home, just to say I did it. But technically, I looked into it. I was like, am I still abandoned here? I was like, yep. And I dodged the trespassing ticket. I forgot about it because it was that time period where I was just balls out.
1 out of 10.
And then when Bart broke into my house in Portsmouth, the one night him and Kathy got Jaegered up, they drove to Portsmouth and hunted me down and fucking he broke into my pad. And I whooped his ass and put him in jail for a month. And like fucking, that's when the marshals caught wind of it because I filed the official report on him. So my name went in the system and then fucking like half hour later, federal marshal showed up on my door. And I was getting high as a kite, just laughing about it like, man, fuck Bart, motherfucker.
I remember that. That's weird.
It was like, knock, knock. And I'm like, who the fuck is it? And they're like, federal marshals, open up. I'm like, oh. I'm like, all right, hold on, I'm taking the shit. And I'm like fucking fanning the window out, like putting all my shit away because I knew I was going down. I was like, what happened? What's going on? They're like, you got a trespassing thing and it turned into a warrant. I'm like, why? And they're like, well, you didn't pay it and we couldn't find you. I'm like, so I'm being punished because you couldn't find me? And they're like, well, where did you last live? And I'm like, I hadn't lived there in a while. I'm like, so if you were sending mail there, it doesn't get to me. So they used that leniency and they didn't want to jail me over it. They just made me pay the fine off. So I paid it
I
off.
remember that. Mom got hammered with Bart and drove around.
That was fucked up, dude.
I was like, what the hell are you guys doing?
She's sitting in the truck like, I'm sorry, I told him I didn't want him to come here. I'm like, bitch, you gave him directions. You drove with, you're his co-pilot. You're
driving with.
He's hand no and you're fucking princess dumbass. You both fucking flew your Millennium shitbird and got to my house. And he got whooped up. I was like getting dressed while whipping his ass. He would like come at me and fucking first I just straight up heart punched him and he like staggered back and was like, I'm like, man, let me get some clothes on because I'm naked. So like I put on some shorts and then he comes charging at me again. So I like fucking bam, just elbowed him in the arm really hard, knocked him into the other wall. And then I had a shirt on. And then like I kicked him back into a chair for a second. And then I got my socks on. And then when I was trying to get my shoes, he came over and tried to kick me. I just grabbed his leg and put him in like a leg arm bar. I was like, man, I'm gonna break your fucking kneecap if you don't stop this shit. And I slammed him down. And then I'm tying, got up. And he starts to come at me again. And by this time, remember Justin, like he's all tall and big and fucking, he just straight up put Bart in the fucking full Nelson, but he's so big, like Bart's arms were just up like a baby. And I took out my big knife and I just put it right up to his throat. I was like, man, if you don't cut this shit out, I'm gonna fucking end you. Like you're just a stain on my fucking family. Like I'm tolerant and forgiving because of my religion, but you're pushing the line, buddy. And it clicked in his eyes. He got scared as a bitch. And then he's like, all right, I'm so sorry. I'm drunk and fucking your mom got me all wilded out. I'm sorry. He's like begging him, like, wait, you think I'm really gonna kill you, idiot? He's like, yeah. I'm like, good, because I am. I was like, you ever do this shit again, and I will. You remember I used to answer the door with knives and shit and be like, what? Even at her house. And he'd be like, what? Like, what do you need? Like, crackhead. He could be fixed and healed of it, but he doesn't want to. And it's like, man, at least pick a good drug. Pick a drug people can tolerate, like weed or beer. Fucking just, you should learn to appreciate your kids. That's the shittiest part of all of it. Like not only did I get deprived of my kids for a lot of it, but now Max is being deprived.
And you weren't even on
Dude, all the shit that I was guilty of, I was guilty of shit that she fucking made me do. You're selling drugs. I'm selling the drugs to your coworkers, like you asked, to make extra bucks. Like, what the hell do you expect me to do? You're telling me to make this money doing it, and then you're gonna bag on me for doing what you told me to do? Like, come on, that chick was whack as you. She even tried pretending to be Sarah. Like, come on.
Who did that?
Yeah, like out of the blue, when me and Janet broke up, like I was at my I was at like the literal lowest point of my emotional, spiritual life. I just didn't care anymore. I was like, I just didn't care. And then like I ate a bunch of shrooms and was just like, fuck it, man. Whatever happens, happens. And then I got super hammered. And some dude almost kicked my ass because I pulled a Brett. Like I was blacked the fuck out and managed to walk back to the apartment I was staying at with my friend. And I'm fucking trying. Like, he's like, this is not your door. This is the last time I'm going to tell you nice. This is not your door. He's like, go over there. That's yours. I know where you're at. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, Dave, go over there. I'm like, oh shit, man. I'm sorry, Brad. I fucking forgot I met you at the hot tub earlier. He's like, yes. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. He's like, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm like, all right. And I was like, what the fuck? And then once I got in, I was just sitting there like, dude, I'm so fucking out of it. But then like the shrooms were kicking back in hard, so I was wide awake. And then I got a message on Messenger like, hey, it's me. I don't know if you really want to hear from me or any of this and that. And it was Sarah, so I started talking to her. Then after like 6 months, like I knew she got caught because I didn't hear from her for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden she talked back, but it was different, like trying to bait me. Well, I mean, I know you think mom's a liar, and like I don't think nothing about your mom. I think she did the best she could. Like I would say everything positive I could think of, you know, like I don't care anymore. I let that go a long time ago because it wasn't doing anything. I removed myself from all of it. She's paid up. I pay their shit, so when they're ready, they'll find me. They know where I'm at. They know how to get a hold of me. They can jump on the internet and be like, hey, we're coming. I'm like, cool. About goddamn time.
I can't imagine.
Because as long as they're under her tutelage, she's going to dominate.
How the fuck are they on Instagram?
They do. It's just you're blocked.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm fine.
Because she's got some deep-seated hatred for me. It's like, whatever, man. Your family fucked up our marriage from the get-go, trying to take her kids. That was not my fault. That was her fucking parents being greedy. So, it's just like it was so long ago at this point. It's like, man, it's like fucking 20 years ago almost. It'll be 20 years. It is 20 years. Because I was with her before Sarah got pregnant, obviously. So yeah, it's some shit that's like old. So to me, it's just like, get over it. Let it go. Stop telling them bullshit. Stop telling them I'm fucking deadbeat or any of that shit. When I didn't pay, it was because I was saying, fuck you. It wasn't because I couldn't pay. It's because I said, fuck you. I didn't want to pay you. You want to take my kids away? It's like you made me help that motherfucker carry my own TV into your new apartment, you piece of shit.
Like your dad does.
They had to call the cops on me that day. I was hot.
You left the wife. You couldn't deal with the kids. And the mom.
That's why I tell people. That's why you don't get married in Vegas, boys and girls in TV land. Don't get married in Vegas. Seriously, it was like an hour. It took an hour. I was like, hey, why don't we get married? We're having a kid anyway. And she was like, all right. And then bam, an hour later, we're married. Because it's Vegas. You go in one line, you get your license. You just go get your marriage license, and then you go to a chapel and you pay the fee and you wait your turn, and then you get married.
Hey, you might as
It's just like the courthouse ceremony. It's like the same shit. But it's
well.
like fancy. We went to we did the Whitechapel, so we had like just where Elvis got married to Priscilla.
I'm gonna jump off this thing.
Right on. You got to work. Haha.
Yeah, I gotta work at 7. 2 hours.
4 off
Not
10.
me. I earned a day off.
Yeah, you're lucky.
I gotta pressure wash the patio, do laundry, and all that other shit.
So I'll see you sometime.
All right, it was good talking to you.
Love you, brother.
Love you too, man. Have a good one. Tell your
I'll
chick
see you.
hi. Keep
I
me
will.
posted on the baby.
I will.
Pictures.
Bye.
Later. Yay, that was fun. I'll talk to my brother in a minute. I think I do have this thing on my phone. I'll remember it when I get off the phone later. How long have I been on? 252. I'll fuck around a little while longer. Bob, you're not saying much. What's your deal, guy? It's 2 in the morning, so that's 2 a.m. to out.
Four off 10.
Don't fall.
Stay down for 10. Main way 3, 12, F, DL1 passenger cabin. Down, way.
6 weeks, man. I'm excited. I'm going to be an uncle, finally. Everyone else in my family is an uncle. And he gets to be an uncle. John's an uncle because he has half brothers. Like, that's finally my turn. I'm stoked. Praise God. Which is cool. If you bite that cord, you're gonna get shocked. It's a fucking guitar cord, you dick. It's not a cat toy. It's my guitar cord, son. No. No, Bob. No. Bad, Bob. Bad. No. Fritz. Fritz. Is that cat language for stop? Do not. Kind of wound up. Damn. Damn. Okay. Purple punch it is. They better have some new choices tomorrow. I won't bag on local because I love local. Local. Good guys, good stuff, good prices. Not enough. Pay me for my sponsorship, please, dear sirs. They probably would. Be like, yo, hobby, look it up, man. Put me on paycheck. So all I have to do is broadcast and put shout outs to fucking collective. I actually used another Monster song. I learned it from Max and Grandpa. Because they love the Monsters. And I thought it'd be funny. I've also learned the King of the Hill song for people. It's like I learn some shit and then I'll forget about it. But then I can still kind of diddle it out. At least the tempo and sound of it. I don't ever really play anything accurately. specifically so they can't say I'm breaking any copyright violations. So like people are like, you play a lot of bar chords, and like, well, yeah, that way I'm not technically playing a Nirvana song, and I'm not technically playing Slayer, or I'm not, you know, whatever I happen to be jamming. I'm not playing their shit. I'm playing my version of their shit, which is entirely different. But I digress. And I didn't choke to death root. Did I even take a hit? Every time I see May doing that in real life, it reminds me of that scene in Shrek where they're going to the kingdom far, far, far away. And Donkey's just in the back doing that. What's up, Bob? What do you make of all this? How do you define all that is before you, Bob? Carpeting, drapes, window dressings, salad dressings, clothing dressings, medical treatments, window treatments. Parallels and paradoxes overlaps, stored neatly in boxes, folded with flaps and closed with tape. It all amounts to mental rape. They can't all be winners. That's the point of that one. In case anybody's worried or wondering, I'm not pro-rape or anything. I fell asleep last night watching TV and SVU came on, and I guess this shit got in my subconscious because it keeps coming up. Yeah, rape's not funny or anything like that. Like, I don't know rapists. I don't deal with people like that. So hopefully nobody took offense to that when I used it as an example of anything. Just general examples. It's all thoughts. Happy thoughts for happy people. Happy plants and happy trees, happy birds and happy bees. And they're all happy because they got knees. Peter Pan had a shadow again. And then he was A-okay. Because just like everything else that was created, part and parcel, it's with him. It's there for a reason. You can't cast it off because you think it's unnecessary, because you think it doesn't suit you. It is what it is. Nothing more, nothing less. So the larger thing is just let it go. Let go of the hate, let go of the programming, let go of the brainwashing, whatever it may be. If you're being a crooked motherfucker, stop. If you don't like religious terms, don't use them. Quit being a fucking dirtbag. Use normal people terms. Stop committing crimes. Stop being evil to people. Because all it boils down to is, again, ego and selfishness. Just like my brother said, ego, ego, ego. He knows. He's a pretty arrogant person too. That's how he knows so much about it. But he's cool. I love him. I'm kidding. He's not really arrogant. It's just how we are. Dicks. Let's see. Dexterity, dexterity. Anybody else ever watch The Young Ones? I used to. Love that show.
Six of the resource bank. Generating rope.
Well, no one's interacting. So I'm going to call it a
Generating
show, a night, whatever you.
done. ST return a wireless controller option to open chat.
Until next time, don't fall
1
for
of 10.
any of it ever at all. It's all nonsense. Hooliganism, hijinks, shenanigans, bullshit.